Cream. Get on top. Cream. You will cop. Cream. Don't you stop. Hey, there we are. Hey, one half of this. Let's get this going here. Wow. Hey, how are you? Welcome on in. Hey, this is Inside the Box. I am your boy BC, the Brian Campbell. Yes, put one up for the X. Welcome to the Brian Campbell experience. I know you're wondering at this moment, where in the damn hell is Rafe, right? Doing preparatory bong rips, probably not likely there in suburban Detroit. Rafe having a minor internet Wi-Fi issue at the moment that he's currently resolving. So we will be seeing good old Rafa very soon. And when I mean very soon, okay, I mean right freaking now.
Hey.
That's what the hell I am talking about. Rafe Bartholomew is here. It's Tuesday, February 18th, 2025. The last crescendo is upon us, aka Rafa, the best fight card in the history of organized humanity this Saturday on Days In. But that's still to come in the show. First and foremost, how the hell is your red-haired ass doing?
Fuck that. My hair, as you can, it may be red, messy. I didn't say that. It may be messy, but it is not red. All right, I ain't ginger. Unless we happen to be walking by a couple of thick women in that mall area near the Hard Rock Casino in Las Vegas during a fight weekend, and she happens to say as we pass, "Ooh, I like ginger." Then I might be red for the night, but no. I am not red-haired. My beard, I can't speak for that.
That night you were very, very ginger indeed. We are back to respect the box. We are back to put our things inside of the box consensually, of course. And we are back with a bang today with an absolutely loaded show. Keyshawn Davis is a world champion. I'm not sure if you guys saw that. Arnold Barbosa Jr. is kind of a world champion. I'm not sure if you guys saw that. And of course, better believe that Beterbiev Bivol Part 2 is going down this Saturday. Rafe, a few words on the state of liquid crack, Northeast Michigan, and anything else you have related to the Detroit Masonic Hall. Go.
Northeast Michigan, Brian. Do you need to be educated on the shape of the mitten?
Yeah, you're in the Northeast. I know it. Yeah.
No, Southeast, man. Like Southeast Michigan is where Detroit and Metro Detroit are. Ann Arbor also. Then Northeast would be like Tawas City, maybe I don't know. Petoskey's kind of central, but in it like these are there's the thumb, of course. The thumb, man. This the backwards part of this. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, man, I just can't win. I'm being called a ginger. Yeah. So this is about where I am. Southeast.
Okay, so you're left of the Vagine. You're more like in the upper.
Can I read your palm?
Yes, please. Yes. I have to interrupt this friendly accord, although I'm still hoping you tell me about the liquid crack in your area, to hit you with a little bit of breaking news as we start the show. Are you prepared for this? Yes or no?
Probably not.
All right. Breaking news. Okay. You know, Brunch Boxing. They got New Yorkers on that show. They're breaking shit left and right. According to a tweet by Brunch Boxing, Floyd Schofield Jr., who we all know is stepping up in class big time on Saturday against Shakur Stevenson.
He wants to be taken to school.
Floyd Kid Schofield did not show up to the grand arrivals that are going on now, like they just happened in Riyadh. His trainer and father, Floyd Sr., claims that Junior was poisoned by snack and Shakur Stevenson's masseuse. Schofield is scheduled to face Stevenson on Saturday. And the tweet here from Kid Austin's father is, "They poisoned my son. Is this a snack work? Shakur massage lady wiped a cream on my son." End quote. And you know, right away, I'm like, cream. Get on top. Hey, Mr. Kraft, it's great to see you again here at Gardens of Massage. Wow, what do you think really happened there?
Well, look, Brian, I will say I do have like I gotta watch out how I start this sentence. I have been to a fight week at an unusual or you know a remote location, right? I covered Manny Pacquiao when he fought Brandon Rios in Macau.
Yes.
There was talk that week of people receiving massages while cooped up in this hotel for a week waiting for a fight to happen, including people in the various fight camps, not the fighters themselves, but thankfully, because this kind of mess might have happened, but people in their camps might have been having recovery massages too. It doesn't look good. It sounds awfully weird to to hear that they're in some luxury, good knows what, Lord knows what development in Riyadh or Jeddah or wherever in Saudi they are for these fights, and something shady is going on with the massages. It's weird.
It is.
That's weird. A weird one. Where will that go? So, are we thinking like that? The fight isn't off, is it yet?
No, the fight is not off. It is, in my opinion, arguably the most intriguing fight on the card. Even though
you're wrong, but continue.
Even though Shakur is a minus 1,200 betting favorite, but I love a few good gates. I liked Paint Gate for Ryan versus Mayer 1. I didn't like here's your box full of racism gate ahead of
we had that
Davis Baranchek 1. But I do love a little cream. I love a little sauciness. So you paid the massager to infiltrate with the cream and clear. What? So he'll pop dirty, or so maybe put a little icy hot on that. Remember in the movie Lucas, right, with Corey Haim and Charlie Sheen? Remember they took the icy hot and they put it all over his junk? They held him down and they junked up his junk with it. Maybe that's what happened to maybe Kid Schofield was made a man by some cream, if you know what I'm saying. Right?
So okay. Well, look, as far as wild, crazy, when you say, by the way, you said Lucas, I immediately thought of that weird, like alopecia rapper named Lucas in the 90s, had one song called like Lucas with the lid off. It was not good, but it was sort of, it was like, if you were really into Diggable Planets, then maybe you would also be into Lucas. And it turned out nobody was that much into Diggable Planets that they wanted to be into Lucas. Anyway, it was kind of like,
by the way, Dave, we know what kind of massages you've been having over by the hot dog stand, if you know what I mean. All right. Yeah. Good Lord.
Look, as far Schofield Sr., this is a pretty good, insane excuse to throw out there at the beginning of fight week, because you talk about snack, you talk about Victor Conte. The man does have a track record of coming up with creams that you could spread on your body and have something weird, different happen to it. He's a cream match. He's creamed a few guys, many guys.
I mean, Tyson Fury used to cream 7 times a day leading up to his fights. All right. Okay.
So at least there is a little bit of I get it's not there's something a shred of plausibility to grab onto here, but it's why like I'm clapping like a weirdo on Twitter, like why would Floyd Schofield be working with Shakur Stevenson's masseuse? That doesn't make any sense.
Fair point.
And you almost think it's your fault. Also, why in the world does Snack or Shakur Stevenson or anyone who knows what's going to happen in this fight need to worry about poisoning Floyd Schofield ahead of it? Like it's a done deal already.
Yeah. It's interesting. It caught my attention.
You don't think this leads to a jacking?
I hope it doesn't lead to a jacking, because although this fight is
maybe Floyd should have just jacked and he wouldn't be jacking right now.
Let's go over to Sal Pal. Well, first of all, I wanted him to shoot his load. So we're saying maybe we read the headline wrong. Maybe just the headline is he got a massage and he jacked. You know what I mean? But no, will he jack from the fight? I hope not, because even though he shouldn't be taking this fight at 22 this early in his career without fighting anyone even remotely close to Shakur, and his dad has said publicly they did it for the bag, so to speak. Not the man bag, but you know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, I've done a few things for the nookie, right? You know what I'm saying?
They teased the bag, Brian, and you taught us a long time ago.
Yeah, they did. It's Freddie. Well, Freddie did tell us, right? First thing you got to do is play with the bag a little bit, but
have a little fun with the bag.
Yeah. Get some ring boys around. Okay, that's way too far. All right, no, we got to put that beside. Enough of us. Put that beside us. I was asking you about your liquid crack addiction.
No. Really? I don't want to talk about liquid crack. This is great. I'm not done at all. I hate to even take it this far, but I would not want to be a fighter who jacks on Turkey in Turkey's home, because I wouldn't necessarily expect to come home.
I don't think they allow that. They don't allow you to drink. What do you think about Bruh KGB saying never screwed so many in his life, Rafe? Okay.
Look, man, when it comes to Bob Arum telling his stories about being in Manila for 1975, the Thrill in Manila, incredible moment in boxing history, but the whole sort of making light of the sex industry, sex tourism, that kind of stuff. I don't want to go that far.
Easy, Nigel.
I was about to say there are boxing Hall of Famers in the media wing who will go there with you, but it ain't going to be me.
Okay. You have too much respect for those peoples. And
I don't have any ear piercings either.
All right. I do like the 1990s spiked hair you got rocking. I like that a lot.
That's just me. That's bedhead and Scully's and not giving an F.
Is Michigan at the moment, and I assume yes, as icy, cold, and depressive as this current Connecticut winter?
Yeah, it's rough. It was it's not even double digits here yet, and it's midday, so it's very, very cold.
Yeah, everything's iced over. They ran out of rock salt in this entire state.
Wow. I mean, I know well enough. I've been here long enough by now I get mine early.
Yeah,
I have, a big ass bucket, and I make sure that if I need it, I'm good.
Angel style. Get that morning bird call, right? Are you? All right. We're going to have an excellent show. Programming alert. You see Saddam Ali pulled out of his comeback, so I'm out of Sunday's card. It was going to be me and Paulie Malignaggi down there in Brooklyn. Canceled. Okay. Excited, though, to be back a week and a half from now for all things Tank versus Roach. Let's start there. Are you excited about that fight? Because Tank's in the news a lot right now from all of his podcast appearances. I don't know if you saw Bud Crawford went inside on him earlier today. Tank told the story yesterday about Money Yaya being in his DMs, and that's what caused the rift with Floyd. He claims he only fought Pedraza because Floyd forced him to, out of being upset about relations with his daughter. Yeah, I mean, everything's coming to light this week.
Wait, so I get that worked out pretty good for Tank, because that's still one of his better wins, right?
Yes.
Maybe he should have listened to Floyd a little bit more. Although, look, Tank's a great fighter, and his career is going extremely well. But yeah, I don't know what to say to that either.
I'm with you on that. Are you do you give Lamont Roach Jr. and last night I did watch parts 1 and 2 of Gloves Off with Barry Pepper, by the way, a fantastic piece of pre-fight documentary business. They showed the amateur history between the two of them. They showed that the last time they fought was at age 15 and that they were 1 and 2 in the nation in their division. Roach not afraid, bro. He's got that same Ryan Garcia confidence like he had against the Haney fight. Maybe not fueled by so much racism, but more like, I tussled with this guy before. I know who he is. I'm not afraid. And I like that heading into a fight. All right.
Well, that is, look, Lamont Roach is a good fighter. He's experienced. They do know each other. And that probably, especially with a fighter with Tank's kind of reputation and results in the ring, that probably does benefit Lamont Roach a little bit more than it does a normal opponent who's never, who really just has to use tape and his own imagination or whatever to project how good of his opponent is actually going to be. All that does matter, but it still, it doesn't introduce an element of uncertainty about how that fight is going to play out to me. It's a stay busy fight and a showcase for Tank.
Okay.
And it's got a nice backstory to it. It's got some local rivalry, all things that are useful when selling bad fights.
Oh boy, I'm not going to accept the bad part of that sentence. Are you as in on the El Rayo versus Gary Antoine Russell co-main title bout as I am right now?
Wait, who's El Rayo?
All right. The end of discussion. Let's go back to the weekend recap and find out if Rafe actually cared this weekend. I cared a lot. Friday night. Look, I'm going to say a top rank in New York, Madison Square Garden Theater. They had a nice Valentine's Day special, dude. They had so many prospects up and down that card, some of them in key step-up opportunities, no bigger step-up wise than that main event when unbeaten 25-year-old Keyshawn Davis in just his 13th pro fight, Rafe, went out there and gave Denis Berinchek of Ukraine all he could handle. 4 rounds of one-sided domination, dropping him in the third with a beautiful. Did you see the body shot in round 3 when he went low, stepped to the side, and then curled that hook in? Got him back to the body in round 4 to finish him. He joined us on Morning Combat this week, by the way, great program, and said, I felt I could have got him out of there in round 2, but Bomac was telling him to put his foot on the brakes. Are you even remotely as high on the businessman as I am right now, the new WBO 140 or 135 world champion?
I'm very, very high on him. I don't know if I can quite get, I can't quite hear Jimmy like you are at this moment, Brian. I know you are hearing Jimmy. You're hearing the national anthem right now.
I can hear Jimmy.
Yeah. I'm listening, and I agree that it is very good. Look, don't you think though that was, I mean, credit to Keyshawn Davis for really for doing what he needed to do to get Berinchek out of there fast a lot. But that fight was weird and ugly. And
whoa. Is this where we're going today? Are we going down the salt? I mean, there's no rock salt in Connecticut right now. I think it's all in Michigan. And
this is not Keyshawn's fault. It's not his. We've seen how he approaches his bouts time. Like, it's only been 13 times, but he's pretty consistent. It's not his fault that fight was ugly and weird. But Berinchek, I don't know what his plan was on Saturday night. It seemed to be to just sort of, he's trying to make it dirty and ugly and switch stances and just do weird stuff. To Davis's credit, it didn't work at all. He wasn't fooled by any of it. No. He was able to, he didn't, when Berinchek tried to maul and get inside. First of all, I don't know why he thought that would necessarily be, maybe it could throw a fighter who looks slick like Davis off of his rhythm, but we quickly learned that Davis was plenty strong to deal with that. Dude, and did not hesitate at all to just be like, get the fuck off me, Chief.
Physically, he dominated them, and I didn't see that coming against a 36-year-old battle-tested, unbeaten champion.
Well, see, that may be the thing. He was a 36-year-old, never quite really tested dude who. It's fine. Look, he won the fight. He won in style. He managed to get an early knockout in a fight that was honestly what really impressed me about it, because the first couple of rounds of that, I was like, oh, this is going to be terrible. Like, Berinchek is never going to let this turn into a boxing match where he would lose. It's just going to be ugly for 12 rounds, and Davis is going to win because he's going to be able to do more than Berinchek, who didn't even, to me, seem like he didn't have a real idea of how to win that fight. Just, like, I guess, make it ugly and hope that something, that a mistake happens. It was a weird fight, I thought. And that, again, I don't mean that to take what the fuck are you drinking, man? That is
little AG1 on that ass. You don't get down with the green powder?
Look, you're
more into the white kind, or what?
Look, unlike you, brother. I probably have. I actually bought that junk once, and
I sell that junk. Okay?
I know, right? Exactly. That's why you have it for free. You're drinking it now. I bought it once and I gave it away. But Keyshawn Davis, he again, credit to him for figuring out a way quickly to dispense with that opponent. But because it looked like it was going to be 12 rounds of ugliness, and it ended up being 4. Also, you don't think that dude quit a little bit?
No, I mean, look,
he got up right after that 10 count.
We're getting mixed reactions here. Adam Hurley saying that was pathetic from Berinchek. I was underwhelmed ultimately by Berinchek. But, Arturo over here from the UK is like, hold on. Never tested, Rafe, you salty Hermano.
2 things can be true. I'm reading it.
You're right. 2 things can be true. But
I think he is the truth too. But Berinchek, we saw, like, Navarrete was the best opponent on his pro resume by leaps and bounds, and he fought it, and that was one of the worst nights of Navarrete's career.
Yeah, but he still beat him.
Yes, well, yes, congratulations. And now we saw what Navarrete would look like against actually good lightweights. It's not going to be good.
All right, well, you come with me and Harman Sarai, a regular watcher of this here program, in saying that where I have already made the 4 princes. Thank you, Kieran Mulvaney, for naming them that. I've made them the 5 with Shakur. Are we adding Keyshawn on that group, and we'll drop the Prince label and just say young American boxers shy of 30, although I think Tank just turned 30, are just absolutely on fire. They want the smoke, and they are potentially going to be the superstars of this sport for the next 10, 15 years?
Sure, 100%. We floated that idea last week before the fight, and I said,
You're right.
yes, he deserves to be in. Like, why not? Let's think of him in that among those fighters, because a lot of those other guys haven't really done a lot more on their resume well, not a lot, but I mostly just object to having Ryan Garcia still in this category. The rest of those fighters are 100% legit and elite. And so, well, yes,
Haney's on the bubble.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, no, I mean, Haney has better wins anyway.
Yeah, he beat Loma, kind of.
To fight Loma that well, when Loma came to win, that was an impressive performance. Anyway, to me, so yes, Keyshawn Davis, put him in that category, sing his praises, expect greatness from him. All that is true. I think we're going to see it against better opponents, hopefully someday. And I heard your wonderful interview on Morning Combat.
Wow.
Outstanding. And he said, and sounds like he certainly is ready for it. He wants it. I hope that those fights come to him sooner rather than later. Look, we know that it's going to be later rather than sooner, but I still would love, I like that he wants it. He's already calling for it. And I wouldn't even if he is less experienced than, say, Tank or Teofimo Lopez or whoever you want to, he's still, I wouldn't count him out of any of those fights, because we know his pedigree, we can see his talent, and he's showing improving every time. I just this fight was ugly and dumb. Not everyone is a great fight. It doesn't always work out.
No, you're saying just in the way it played out. I saw, shout out, by the way, to Norfolk, and yeah, he's absolutely representing in the DB3, the 3 brothers. Dude, Keon, his brother, 6'4", look like just a special, unique, weird fighter out there. Back to Keyshawn. I get what you're saying. I was underwhelmed ultimately by Barinchik, but I wonder if he was overwhelmed early by the physicality of Davis, the hand speed, but more importantly, why are we this excited about Keyshawn Davis? Dude, he's like brilliant when it comes to the I'm not surprised with Bomac in his corner, with Terrence Crawford, Shakur Stevenson as essentially stablemates, and boxing being a family business for the Davises. But Rafe, for 25, for 13 pro fights, his understanding of angles, of countering through no space at all and finding a way. I mean, he is a brilliant practitioner, but you could have said you already knew that coming in. I guess that is what impressed me most, but what also impressed me a ton is what we talked about earlier, the physicality. I felt like he's carrying more muscle mass in this year than he has earlier, which makes sense. He's growing, but he uses that muscle mass, and I'm finally seeing, like I saw in Amir Khan's back at 135, when I'm saying to myself, this guy could fight at 47, 54, 60. Turns out I was wrong on a lot of Khan moments, although he did fight Canelo at
Canelo weight. Yes.
Yeah. I'm seeing it now. He's going to be a full-fledged welterweight with power one day. He's going to grow into that. Dude, we are watching a blue chip 25-year-old crossover from he might have next to he's ready right now for everything this division has. And maybe we're lucky as boxing fans that what does this division have? The other 3 champions are Lomachenko, Shakur Stevenson, who will never fight because they're friends, and Tank Davis. So, dude, I said this on MK, but I want your opinion. I led off this new year saying the fight I need to see the most is Shakur versus Tank. I think I'm subbing out Shakur and putting Keyshawn in. Are you down for Davis versus Davis? How high up would that fight be right now on your jukebox if you could call the shots? If you were Turkey's ring boy, if you will.
I'd say, Turkey, get all your choppers on this and let's make it happen.
Cream, got any more of that? Yeah, because I do. Yeah.
No, I think it's a great fight. I don't know why. I mean, just because they've been circling each other for longer, they both have a higher status kind of in the sport right now. I still would want to see Shakur versus Tank first, just because that's one, I don't know, we've been excited for that for a while. Like, why do we need to rush into something else? but but hearing you interview Keyshawn about it and the possibility, and also just thinking the, DC versus Norfolk, like you're in the same region, that it's just, that has so much to like about it. And I do agree that I think that there's a better chance of Gervonta Davis versus Keyshawn Davis being a classic fight than Gervonta versus Shakur. But just because I guess I want to Shakur. I want to see that. I want, that's unfinished business. I want them to finish that business first. Keyshawn's going to be around. And
I agree. I want Top Rank PBC to I want Grandpa to call up Mr. Cancer. I don't know if Uncle Turkey needs to be on the line for that to happen, right? Maybe if they do, then whatever. Look at what Turkey's given us Saturday. He's given us everything we could ask for. I don't like the whole Turkey experience, but we're getting the whole load on Saturday, and I think even Paul Pierce would like that.
You can like the whole Turkey experience with it. It's fine. I think the whole Turkey experience is net positive for most boxing fans.
Right. I'm a little nervous about the Dana experience, but that's another topic for another question.
He's a poser. He ain't actually. He's not about that.
Say it to his face. Say it.
I'm never going to be in the same room with him.
I got to bring up Hank Williams here with a question. They did show Brinchik taking a nap on the couch. The last time we saw a Western European boxer nap on the couch before a big one.
Do you need a map? You're all over the place. Northeast Michigan, Western. Do you know where Ukraine is? Do you know where Russia is?
Right near my Lithuanian background. Okay. What I'm saying here is the last time we saw that was when Kovalev was napping, because that days in, I thought they were going to hit us between the eyes with some fights. They decided to wait on Canelo Kovalev so them skinheads could finish up. But yeah, Hank, you're right. Look, underwhelming by Brinchik, but hey, Brinchik, you gave the belt away. The transaction happened. Now we move forward. We're not sniffing early pound for pound votes here. We're not getting as excited as we did over Golovkin by like knockout number 12 on the 23 fight knockout streak.
If you had a soundboard right now, we'd be hitting the Paulie and being like, yo, relax.
Speaking of that, by the way, I have to interrupt you because you said the word sound. There's a dude named Dustin, longtime fan of the show. He claims he has the sound drops of almost every single one that we had on the board, and he emailed me like 30 of them. So maybe I have no excuse. See, my heart is broken.
Was that the excuse? Because I have them too. I sent most of those to you in the first place.
My heart was broken when I updated the iPad and it made that app not usable anymore. Maybe I just need to suck it up because I keep getting emails and DMs saying, I like the two of you, but I really like the soundboard. That's what they said. That was special.
Look, if you need sound, just tell me. I still got them.
Okay. Real quick interlude here from Remix. You know Remix. Rafe's mustache versus Steve Harvey's. Now that's an interesting.
Now we're talking. Question. I appreciate that. Did you watch any of the Saturday Night Live thing over the weekend?
Not yet, but I do plan on it because that's right in my wheelhouse.
Oh man, the Eddie Murphy, Steve Harvey shit had me dying because I watched so much Apollo growing up, so much. Yes, I mean, yes. And he just did. It was like I felt like Eddie Murphy was in my brain, and it was magic.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's magic. One more quick question. From Novus 22, does Rafe love the Philippines anywhere as much as Luke Thomas reps Colombia due to his wife? Now your wife is not from the Philippines, but she understands it. I mean, you speak better Tagalog than she does.
Oh, yeah, by a wide margin, yes.
Do you have the same protective love affair? I think you already showed that answer is true.
Look. I like, why compare? It's two different countries. I can't get inside LT's head or his bowels, thankfully.
Nobody can. Nobody can.
And so it seemed, I mean, like, I'll put it this way. I don't think that he could love his place more than I love my place, but I think that we could be equals.
Okay. Shout out to Osberto. I believe this is Osberto Perez from Naugatuck High School class of 93. Represent yourself in the chat if that's true. That's Naugatuck, Connecticut right there. Right?
93 till infinity, baby.
What are you going to do about that? That's what I'm talking about, Osberto. Yes. Tell your sister Elenia I said what's up. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Well,
all right.
Is that weird right there?
There's nothing weird about that at all. See,
Okay.
Osberto knows what's up. Okay, the guy used to pitch for the Greyhounds. People remember this. People remember this. All right, back to what we're talking about here. Somebody in this chat just called Keyshawn as Richard would say, a generational talent. That's what Ryu Ken said. You're not going that far. Like, slow my roll here. Slow the roll here, right?
I do. Look, I'm not a hater because I mean, I really think he's good. I wouldn't be surprised if he becomes that. We are looking at it. I guess, would we there are points in the careers of Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney, where we might have said very similar things about them. And that wasn't that far in the past. That was like in the last 5 years. And it hasn't quite played out that way for either of them. So look, there's a lot of talent in this division currently. There's a lot of talent in the divisions above where he seems to be headed. There's going to be many chances for him to prove that, to get onto the pound for pound list. And I hope he gets those chances and does. And it would be great for the sport if it all works out that way. It's a little early to say that, especially when you couldn't. I mean, eye test wise, I see it. I know what you mean. I get it. But like, that's why they have the fights, because all of a sudden you come up against someone who is your kryptonite and you never would have expected it. You would remember these moments better as a hardcore than I would, Brian. But I remember like when like all of a sudden Vernon Forrest cannot beat Ricardo Mayorga. Yes. Like, I didn't see that shit coming. Like, I was like,
it coming in the rematch where Mayorga outboxed him. I didn't see that coming.
It's just, there are sometimes you run up against a buzzsaw. Sometimes you find someone who just has the, is your perfect match. Things like that happen in the sport. It's what makes it great. And hopefully the sport stays on this roll where whoever is paying the bills for it is putting up the money to make these fights happen, so we can actually answer those questions. Like, could Usyk really do it? Well, we got to see it. He actually did it. Will Keyshawn be that fighter? Let's see it.
Okay, it did exist. It did exist. Ryu Ken is understanding to slow that roll just a bit. Quick jump in though from AZ Rays, which is a fantastic supporter of our program. He wants to know, who are the 5 princes? No, I mean, look, the 4 princes originally, if you're new to this, were Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis, Devin Haney, and Teofimo.
And of course,
then we added Shakur.
Of course, that was based off of the 4 kings, right?
Yes. But then we had to add Shakur because not only did he move up to the division, they all vacated, but he's coming on. I think he's the best of that group. Keyshawn is adding the thumb to the northeast Michigan map now. Okay. All right. Yeah. So that's the 6 we're talking about, Arturo. I will obviously admit
Keyshawn put his thumb inside the box.
Yeah. That Ryan Garcia is on shaky ground because of he's not of their ilk. Skills wise, danger wise, yes. Danger.
What's the danger? Like
the speed
danger
and power
of being hospitalized?
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's a few different pieces of danger. Teofimo every other day is either the pound for pound best, or does he still have it? Does he? I don't know, right? Ask Pedro Campa. I don't know. And obviously Haney has a lot of work to do. But if we, for the purpose of Arturo here, can we get a 6 Princes update ranking from Rafe in terms of current ability?
Current ability. It isn't like 6 Princes stock watch is interesting because it goes up.
Yes.
So look, let's go in reverse order because I know where I'm starting at the bottom.
Yes.
That is with your guy, Ryan the Flash Garcia.
You can't have him below Haney right now. You can't.
Yes, I can. Why? He that was a no contest because he was caught taking performance enhancing drugs. All right. I did see the fight. I understand why you would say that, Brian, but I'm not giving him credit for something that he did not do according to the rules of the sport that he is participating in. And rightfully so. This was not like he didn't get caught on a humble, Brian. This was not JCC, sniffing a little booger sugar, or, our man Benavidez, or when Chavez Jr. would smoke the weed. Like, this is not that. Anyway.
It's not a blow. Not at all. Yeah. Okay. Not at all.
So at my bottom is
your power bottom. Is
we went through my power bottom. Like, I don't want to see Ryan Garcia in any kind of context like that. So Garcia, I guess, look, I still like Devin Haney, but I guess he
I mean,
kinda,
I'm more with you that I think Devin Haney can bounce back. I still think he's got the skills. Does he have to figure out a few things? He's got to be more powerful. He's got to grow into his man strength and sit down on his punches. He's got to pick up that left hook. He's got to get out of the courtroom and settle that dispute in the ring. Outside of that, I still think he's the goods, dude. And I had to defend him a lot through the years, through the Linares situation, through the Loma scoring. He's going to be, though, for me, number 6 right now. So we can flip 5 and 6.
Okay.
How do you order the 4?
The next 4. Then, well, all right. Then I would say Teo, Keyshawn, Shakur, Tank.
So
Tank
you
at
have
the top.
Teo 4. I agree with Teo 4 because he's too unpredictable. You go Keyshawn 3.
Yes.
Shakur 2.
Yes.
Tank 1.
Yes. Tank is my number 1.
Okay. I love this discussion. Hell yeah.
That is not necessarily based on what we've seen in the ring. You know, that is now that I'm speaking a little bit from the heart as a Gervonta Davis fan, speaking a little bit from the eye test, speaking a little. I just think he's got something special to him. I think he is the one. I hope he actually takes and makes the fights to prove that. But he might not ever. So we'll see.
Do you think he goes by Tank?
I noticed that too, yo. I don't know why. I don't know if it's my laptop might be off kilter a little bit, or the art might have gotten knocked off. But anyway, it is crooked. If you guys would like, I could fix it right now. I don't know if that's good for the show. No. Everyone, don't even pay attention. I can green screen this maybe.
Do you think there's a drastic difference between Tank and Gervonta? Kind of like how you're, Bugs in the streets.
Between Tank and Gervonta.
But Raphael in the sheets, if you know what I mean, right? Yeah.
So
anyway, enough on that.
You mean like Roy and what was it? What
RJ.
Yeah, Roy and RJ? Nah, look.
He brought out RJ. He claims, he brought out RJ in the Montel Griffin rematch, but I asked him in that interview we did if he brought out RJ in the first Tarver fight when he was weight depleted and he gutted it out. And his response was, do you know how hard you have to hit a guy in the eyeball to break his orbital bone? All right, there we go. Leaning to left or right, your choice. Yes, mine goes this way. Anyway, back to the business of the box here. Keyshawn breakthrough performance. Do you think Top Rank not concerned about losing Bud and Shakur now that Keyshawn's here? And dude, these brothers are not bad. I called Kelvin's pro debut. He's a 6'1" welterweight. And did you see Keon in either of his first 2 pro fights? Dude, seriously, what is he, like a 6'4" lightweight or some shit? I mean, it's crazy.
I mean, we saw what Alantez Fox recently. Like, this is not that. These guys are out there,
but Keon can punch and finish. I mean, against marginal competition, but still.
They're all exciting. I think that Top Rank would still prefer to be in business with excellent fighters who have decided to move on in recent years. But it's they do such a good job signing talent, especially American and Mexican talent, North American talent, straight out of the Olympics. And developing it and putting them in, and also using the weight of the promotional company to get them the right title fights early or at the right times in their careers. So that's a plus for a guy like Keyshawn, who if he wasn't with Top Rank right now, might not have had the opportunity to fight for what clearly was the easiest belt to win at weight category 135. And that's no knock on him. Like, it was good. Like that's because Top Rank is good at moving fighters along and then giving them opportunities at the right moments. And he capitalized on it.
Yeah. And I agree with Arturo. Keon did look a little Thomas Hearns-esque, the Motor City Cobra right there. But it's just the body size. It's the speed and power. Keyshawn's the real deal. We'll find out about the other Davis brothers moving forward. Next, quickly for Keyshawn, we both wanted him to fight the winner of that Raymond Murataya fight against Abdullayev to become the number 1 contender. It's an in-house Top Rank fight. It probably makes the most sense. But he did say he wants to fight twice this year. You understand how this boxing business works. Turkey can make almost any fight he wanted. Will we see Keyshawn by the end of 25 against someone that you would consider like could beat him?
Oh, I hope so. It's hard to say. I don't expect him to get a fight with any of the other champions at 135 pounds, just because although he's, Top Rank and ESPN have both been committed to putting him not just on the plus, but on real cable, getting him out there, promoting him. Like he's not just, he's a boxer they're trying to break him out to a wider audience. And I think are having some early success with that, but he's the risk reward is just not going to be that for Tank or for Teo. I think also, I hate to say it, but like the one thing, my biggest criticism and lament about the 4 Princes, 6 Princes era, these last 5 years in this division, and you could say it even applies to Shakur, I think, although not as much. They have all been way more interested in clout chasing online than in chasing the legacy fights that they could make between each other throughout over these years.
No. They're going online to try to make these fights with each other.
Perhaps that's the case.
They're banging that drum. Wow, look at this. How do I explain that?
What is it? You're a grown ass man and you sweat. Do you need to explain that?
Well,
by the way, you look like an extra in a House of Pain and music video.
More like Sneaky Blinders, right? We got a new MK sponsor, Mando. They got this whole body deodorant. It says for pits, packages, and feet.
Whole body deodorant. That's a disgusting idea.
I mean, is it more disgusting for me to apply this live than the time you urinated during a live audio show we did together?
It depends on if you apply it to your whole body.
Well, I'm going to start with.
I want to see the whole man, Brian.
Okay, well, it says pits, packages, and feet. So which, I did the pits. It's your choice next. I take requests. All right, which one?
I think leave that up to the viewers.
Yeah. There we go. We just got
time to put up or shut up.
All right, there we go. Thank you. We good on that. Okay.
I have some other questions though.
Yeah, go ahead. Keep it going. This is a free show. Just say what you want.
Why is Loma still a champion at 135 pounds? When did he fight last?
He won a belt last, I thought.
Was that Cambosos?
Yes.
When was that?
I think it was over a year ago. I certainly have the internet in front of me. I certainly can.
I guess I'm fine with it.
Then he was in discussions to close the year with a Tank.
I remember the Tank, and then he was like, maybe I'm retiring, and now I don't know what's going to happen. Look,
I feel like he's going to fight again,
but
he's going to fight again, dude. Right?
I don't know that for sure. He doesn't seem like the type to just keep fighting for money. Maybe he will.
Okay, he's 37, but. Oh, sorry. His birthday was yesterday. Same day as my older sister, Michael Jordan, and my high school neighbor. You down with this? He turned 37 yesterday. So happy birthday out to Loma, who I have his box rec in front of me, or maybe his wiki. He defeated Cambosos in May of last year to win the vacant IBF belt at 140.
I retract my hate there because I don't think anyone cared about seeing that fight, but it did happen. You and I now know that it did happen, and he is an active champion in the division. I hope he's I understand why he's not in a rush to run and sort of take these fights against younger fighters who are honestly kind of bigger than him. Like that the thing that Loma has never really gotten. He's gotten a lot of credit. He's
the test man.
Yeah. People have washed his balls many times over the years, but I still don't think he's gotten enough credit for fighting so long and so well. And at one point in time, unifying 135 pounds, where that is not his weight class. And you can see every time he goes into the ring that he is fighting a bigger guy than him. And he did, and he's not even really lost convincingly in the division yet. I hope that he's still that fighter. If he's up for it, I would still love to see him fight Tank still. And if Top Rank can throw enough money at him to make him fight Keyshawn Davis, oh my God, that is a fight
That would be the smartest thing they could do. That's the smartest thing they could do right now because it's in-house. They'd have to pay him. I'm wondering if do they need him to try to unify? Well, he can't unify because he's not going to fight Shakur. And we hope he fights Tank, but that would be a super big one. I'm talking about Davis when I say not going to fight Shakur. So, yeah, I would like that a lot. I also wouldn't hate if Murataya wins that they do that. But don't forget, that Keyshawn told Ariel Helwani yesterday that he doesn't see himself at 35 long and that he's itching to fight Andy Cruz at 140.
How soon do you think they can make? Don't they want to build Andy Cruz before they go into that Olympic grudge match? Like let's settle it for real now.
Okay, I want to tell you that we are in an area now where there's no such thing as building. If Turkey wants Big Baby versus Bakoli now, if Turkey wants one guy to fight one guy, yet he's going to announce the other guy's fight 2 months from now, he'll do that shit. You know that's true. Okay,
that's true. I mean, if Turkey wants Kelsey McCarson versus Steve Kim, it will happen.
Okay,
you could probably get that for like a ham sandwich.
Well, I was going to say, I know we all saw what happened in McCarson Charlo 1, and luckily it was for charity. But with the issues in the Charlo households lately, do you think that's a closer rematch?
Oh, well, yeah, you got to give McCarson a little more of a chance in it now because that was peak Charlo back then, and now Lions. It might be just Lions, maybe.
You already know he's the best. All right, we got to get out of this Keyshawn conversation because we have so much show left.
Yeah, it's true. There's a lot going on.
Let's go down quickly, because Top Rank put a lot of their future brands on this card on Friday. I want to get, if you saw it, if you cared, if you were moved, because you and I had an interesting text convo about the co-main. Unbeaten Xander Zayas, the 154 from Puerto Rico, improved to 20-0, and he went against Roy Jones's new fighter, Slava Spomer, who brought in an unheralded name and an undefeated record. And dude, talk about a body shot, round 9, a knockout finish. I'm ready to see Xander Zayas against the best in this world. I know we at least agree on that part, that it's needed. I'm a believer in him. I know he got hit by Spomer, but I also know he didn't respect the other guy's power. To see him walk down that guy and get him out of there, dude, I'm excited about this kid because offensively, he's fun. He's fun. There's some things going on there offensively in Xander Zayas. All right.
Yeah, I don't know. I like it. No, I don't care, man. I mean,
my God, what?
They need to maybe let him fight. Doesn't he still need to fight like a contender? Has he ever fought a contender?
Let me tell you,
is he a contender yet?
All right, he beat 25-2 Damian Sosa last time. He beat Patrick Teixeira before that. That's the husk of what's left.
The husk of Tex. Yeah.
A few fights earlier, he beat Ronald Cruz. That's a name. Roberto Valenzuela Jr.
Well, I've heard enough.
All right.
Yeah. Look, I would love to see when his career gets moving.
Okay. I mean, the people are listening to your temperature. They're feeling it right now. Okay?
I'm sorry.
They're so hot for you, but you're so cold. All right. Now, look, do you agree with Bivol, though? Good-looking kid, needs more power to be a superstar.
That is, I think, a good assessment. Yeah, and that's been the rap on him for a minute. He doesn't, his power is not affecting opponents yet at 154 pounds. Is it a question of waiting for him to grow into man strength? Maybe. So if that's the case, they could keep, just sort of keep going through the motions until it shows up, or it won't show up, and they're just it's going to be time to throw him into the fire and see what happens.
Jared Anderson came back from the fire in that knockout loss to Martin Bakoli when Turkey gave him the money to move up quicker than expected. He was back on the Top Rank undercard here, buried against Marios Kolias, a fat fellow who could fight. Jared Anderson gets the 10-round unanimous decision win, but to say it's lifeless might be an understatement. He looked good in pockets and stretches, but Tim Bradley on the broadcast, who I love, was all over him, as was Bruce Trampler of Top Rank on Twitter afterwards, for really just looking like he didn't want to be there at all. Bradley was trying to get him, it seemed, out of Top Rank, that he announced that was his last fight. He would come back on the broadcast, say I apologize. He has one more fight on his deal. But it's not a stretch to say that Top Rank is underwhelmed and maybe might be getting out of the Jared Anderson business if this keeps up. Remember, they cut the cord early on Berlanga when they knew. They cut it on Verdejo, but maybe justified in hindsight. What do you think about the future? Because don't forget, this is a guy who's had troubles with the law, has claimed a million times over that he doesn't even like boxing, that he's only doing it for the money, and continues to maintain that he's going to be retired by the age of 26 or 7, which is tomorrow. So what's happening here?
Tomorrow can't come soon enough, Brian. How many times do you have to listen to this man talk to you like you're talking to this man and then listen to him tell you that he does not care about this sport anymore. He cares about it less than I do, and he has to go into the ring and risk his life doing it. And if that, I believe him when he has said that. I believe him because his actions appear to back it up. His performance in the ring appears to back it up. And I don't begrudge him the fact that like he still knows how to do it and can still make a decent amount of money to, you know, probably make 5, maybe occasionally 6-figure paydays to go in the ring and fight. He has a little bit of a name that is useful to him. Go do that. But he's not, he doesn't care. He doesn't want to do it. And like, we don't need to treat him like a up and coming future, you know, contender or future champion at heavyweight anymore. He's a name now. And he's going to get, you know, he's going to become an opponent. And, you know, you could coast a long time if you stay in even half decent shape and he's a decent athlete. He could continue to fight like that for a long time. I mean, sure. Look, you know, the Otto Wallin plan, and Otto Wallin seems to care more than he does even. But
he did go life or death with Prince Charles Martin. Maybe we should know that.
Prince Charles Martin did it sort of a version of exactly this. He just happened to luck into a belt against, you know, Tsar Glasscock in that first fight.
Indeed, by the way, the worst way to win a championship of all time. When Glasscock's knee falls apart, he never fights again. And then you got Rafe doing Irish exits at the bar afterwards. Oh my God, what a time. What a time. Yes, my liver is cleaning up. AG1 is helping it, although I don't think AG1 can cure cancer. It's still good for the vitamins. It's good for the bones. All right. Anyway, let's keep the show moving. Dude, I'm with you on Jared. If you're an elite heavyweight, you're like, yeah, let's go. Because I think you have to assume when times get hard in the ring, and they will against the elites, like what happened against Piccoli, even though I give Anderson credit, he did fight like a true, he fought like, he behaved like a fighter, as Teddy would say, against Piccoli. He went in there, took the bag, went for it. But that loss shattered a good deal of his confidence. You can tell if he doesn't want to work hard, he's not going to last the top rank. Maybe he'll be fighting at the Masonic Hall soon in Detroit, and hopefully he can give us a ringside report.
Toledo is just right down to 75 from here.
Yeah, thank you. Quick side note from Sid White. Thank you for supporting this channel and this show. Great show, as always, he says. And yes. Also, quick shout out to a great man, Alan W. Thank you, as always, for getting our back. Thank you, Bappa. Say hi to the homeless cats. How are them socials? Exactly. I know you don't get down with the Reddit speak. You don't speak Shabanese, right? So
I thought when I saw the Oppa, I thought it was like a Korea novella type thing. Anyway, that's
not. No. We're not talking about Filipino soap operas where you assault women, but Rafe Barth did shine in that one. Continuing on down the card, dude, Vito Mielnicki Jr. Top Rank put him down, picked him up after PBC put him down. Fights unbeaten Connor Coyle to a majority draw. Probably deserved the decision. But a lot of criticism of this being the opening fight of this triple header when you had Abdullah Mason on the undercard. You had a few other good stories. What is it with Vito? Like, I love interviewing him. He's a hardworking kid. He didn't fight bad, but is he a little Mick Conlon in your eyes where it's like...
That's not even fair to Mick Conlon. That guy was an Olympian. That guy fought for titles. Do you see Vito getting a title shot at this point? Is he earning that somehow? Are you for real? Brian, he's on the Shawnee Monahan, like,
oh, how dare you?
What do you mean? Shawnee Monahan won fights. He was a great draw at the theater where they had this. So is Vito Mielnicki. They're drawing from the opposite sides of the, of the island of Manhattan, but they are, that's what he served. He did his job, which was to keep people in the arena, get them there for the beginning of the card, at least the ESPN card, and then keep them there, give them a reason to stick around that long. And it worked.
Okay.
And the fight was fun. That's the one thing. It was a fun fight. It's competitive, well matched, all that, so, but they're also, as I think the hardcores justifiably are watching, like, why am I watching that? Why wouldn't I want to see one of these hot, like Abdullah Mason, who was really impressive on the non-televised undercard, and is also a fighter that Top Rank has a lot of expectations for. I don't know, Vito, God bless him. Can he fight Joey Spencer? I feel like that we need to have like a series of those two guys fighting each other forever.
There's a rumor that Tim Tszyu is going to come back, get well in Australia against Joey Spencer.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. Yes.
All right. You know who they subbed in on this undercard, who I wasn't too fluent on, but I better Rohan Polanco, the 15-0 Dominican prospect, 26 years old, 5'10". He goes by the nickname El Rayo, which Jose Valenzuela also rocks. He's a welterweight, Rafe. I watched him get the second round KO here against Giancarlo Torres. That's somebody I'm going to be watching closer here. I don't know if you're down with the DR prospect. I was not aware, but good shout out to him just the same. Let's keep it going, though. Abdullah Mason. We saw him get dropped twice in round one of his final fight of 2024, despite largely being everyone's prospect of the year. He's 20 years old. He's 16-0, and he took on Manuel Jaimes, who just went 10 rounds with Rolly Romero. Romero won in a very uneven performance. Dude, Mason looked dynamic as F. Getting him out in round four, just beautiful uppercuts, combinations, explosiveness. And then afterwards, Rafe, he's like, I'd love to get a title shot next. Mind you, he's in the same division where the champions are all like future legends like Davis, Tank, Loma, Shakur. It's hard to slow your roll on a kid like this. He bounced back from that shaky win last time, which was exciting, and looked like $1 million against the guy who wasn't a bum in there.
Yeah, look, he's got real juice, right? It's something you don't need to even like boxing to watch. You see, it is like he jumps off the screen. It's fun. The energy, he's electric, man. And he's actually good. Now, does this erase all of any, if you had serious doubts, or you were worried as sort of an expert in the sport about what those flash knockdowns in the last fight meant, well, look, those concerns might still be there, but we will get chances to see how all that shakes out. And until then, enjoy the ride, man. The kid is so much fun to watch, so impressive, easy to see why people like really have these high hopes for him. Do I think he needs to jump on the Floyd Schofield Express to an early defeat? No, I don't. But get a little of that cream going there, no. Oh man, I forgot that. The Snack Express. Well, be careful of that too, because we see how that's playing out right now.
Yeah, indeed. I am so in on Abdullah Mason. Top Rank's looking in a good spot, even if you can complain that they don't have big pay-per-view stars and they've got to figure out their new TV spot. I mean, just on this night, I think they showed you a lot to be excited about. Abdullah Mason at age 20, wanting the smoke. Dude, shout out to Ohio producing great boxers, from Boom Boom to Kelly Pavlik, from Sean Porter and Adrian Broner to Homer, right?
Maybe Aaron Pryor also, we might mention him.
Yeah, we might mention him as well. Robert Easter Jr. I mean, Ohio. You know what I'm saying? All right, there you go.
Adrian, you said AB already. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there you go. Let's go down that card. Also, kicking off, we mentioned Keyshawn Davis. How about Juan Mita? That is Juanma Lopez.
Harry Yorgi was from Pennsylvania. I'm trying.
Joe Yorgi, who went to the same high school as Eric Raskin.
That's right.
Juanma Manita Lopez de Jesus made his pro debut at 115 pounds against Brian Santiago, delivered the first round KO. Look, this was day one of the journey, but they say Juanma's kid can follow a game plan just as explosive as the old man. Will you be into this journey if Top Rank takes us there?
I want to know, what are his feelings about referees who are tainted by sports gambling?
I believe the referee, everybody knows he has gambling issues and he had money on the fight. Yes. Okay.
Look, his dad is a legend, and I hope that he goes on. I hope that he turns out to be, a championship level fighter too, because Juanma was so much fun to watch. Both in his rise when he was a future, we thought of, when that showdown with Gamboa was marinating, and then after our boy Salido derailed the whole thing.
I didn't like this though, when Hank Williams the fourth is telling us Juanma not in the building, not in the ring, never posted about his son's fight on social media. They might be further apart than we thought. They might be like a Ken Norton Jr. and senior relationship,
Well, I'm sorry, Juanita, I still love your daddy.
I mean, he's with the right promotion to find out about that. Let's get Kriegs on line one. All right.
A phone call is marinating between those two. Bob is going to make it happen.
And to close out the Top Rank conversation, we do have to mention the grandson of the greatest, the Nico Ali Walsh experience and the curtain jerker on the broadcast. Nico took on a literal construction worker from Chicago, Juan Carlos Guerra Jr., who had good pressure, no power, not much technique. And Nico Ali Walsh loses a split decision over 6 rounds. Rafe, he switched trainers again for this fight. Dude, he used to have that guy Richard Sloan, the painter, as a trainer. Then he had Kei Karoma.
Is that for real? The trainer, Richard Sloan?
Yeah.
Then the painter?
Then he had Kei Karoma, that great amateur trainer. Then he had the little guy, the little pocket rocket guy from Cuba, Salas too.
I'm having a little bit of a usual suspects moment here. So he had one trainer who was a painter, another trainer who is Kei Karoma, who, if I recall, did also at some point in time train Michaela Mayer.
Yes.
You see what I'm paint? I mean, we're like
lost her to Sandy Ryan in Paintgate. Yes.
Maybe it was Nico.
Are you trying to say that maybe Nico put the racism box on Keyshawn's doorstep?
For about that, Top Rank need it could be 2 flukes, right? But Top Rank at this point, when you're fighting when they're doing these fights in New York, have some better security around the fighters' rooms because or outside the fight hotel. Just like this is kind of crazy that this keeps happening.
Yes. And where is Rafe every single time? Right?
Look, I disavow that the special delivery from last week. I had nothing to do with that one. I was not in the city. But just seriously, okay, now and also it's just the kind of thing, people are seeing this because fans who watch the sport are seeing it happen a couple times now. It's this is a crazy exaggerated example, but it's it's like mass shootings. They're it inspires copycats. So tighten up that security. I'm sure it will cost a little bit more money, but you don't want this to keep happening. Okay, and you definitely don't want something serious to happen.
Do you know what creates copycats too? When you got somebody with this name who's this great right here, okay? And I'm asking you if that grandson, who now has 2 defeats, look, he does train hard, dude. He looks the part, but
Jake Paul trains hard. I don't care.
I got what you're saying. He's now 10-2 with 5 KOs. What do you think is going to happen next? Because Top Rank has been softly pushing him. All of his fights are televised. Is this the end of the road? What do we do here? I mean, he claims he got offered millions to fight Jake Paul and he turned it down, and he said that braggingly. Dude, he would have got
knocked out. It's time to say yes to that. It's time to say yes.
No, I disagree. He would have got knocked the F out in 3 rounds. There's a big size difference, but also
I don't care. It's time to cash out.
Wow.
What is it? What you think it's time to double down?
No, it is. I'm setting you up to just slay today. You're a slayer. Maybe people respect it. In fact, Alan W supporting the show. He dropped a little in the bucket for Rafe's caffeine crack habit. So there we go. There we go, brother. All right. Thank you.
I'll raise my Celsius to that.
Also, that guy sliding in and saying we look like Boondock Saints extras. Could be worse. Could be a lot worse, right?
Classic, man.
Thank you, that guy. I'm down with that. All right, that'll wrap up the Top Rank portion of this. Let's go over to what we saw on Days In. I didn't watch the Oscar Duarte knockout of Madueno. Did you on the Golden Boy card?
No, and we don't really need to go that deep into that.
No, but did you like when Oscar said afterwards, well, hey, Keyshawn couldn't knock out Madueno. Duarte could. You don't want those problems with Duarte, do you?
No, I like Duarte. I mean, were they fighting at 135 or 140? Because Duarte kind of goes up and down, right?
I believe it was 40, but
okay. Keyshawn, Duarte is a good kind of future opponent for Keyshawn at 135 if he wanted to come back down. I know that's different promotional, blah, 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 but that's the level of fighter I would love to see him take on this year, assuming he's not going to get a title shot.
Weight to category 135. Let's stay though with the zone and what we saw in Manchester, England. That top bloke, Jack Catterall, using a poor man, sexy Sergio Southpaw style, by the way, came up just empty in a split decision loss over 12 rounds. Let me burp. Excuse me. To Arnold Barbosa Jr., unbeaten, battle-tested Mexican-American, or maybe not unbeaten. Unbeaten, right?
Yeah, unbeaten.
Goes out there over 12 rounds for the vacant interim WBO 140 title does not get robbed, even though DAZN had 3 quality blokes sitting ringside, including Beefy Smith that they paid to score. All 3 had them for Catterall, as did anyone with a British accent. But Rafe, I actually thought Barbosa did enough to win. He knew when to. It was the timing and patience. He knew when to counter, when to stay back. He knew when to rush in. It was a kind of a master boxing performance from him in the end. And to see him cry in the locker room holding the title afterwards hit me in the feel spot.
Yeah, look, I mean, it almost, I didn't expect to feel this way coming into this fight, because I am a general, like, I have liked Barbosa for a long time. I was rooting for him, and was happy to see him win. It also made me feel bad for Jack Catterall, who's been in a very similar position on his side of the pond, where he famously got robbed of 4 belts at 140 pounds when he fought Josh Taylor during the pandemic.
Yep.
And then, won the rematch, had kept winning ever since.
But don't forget about what Bob said after he won the rematch.
It's too bad that he let Barbosa get away to Golden Boy, because Bob could have been back there and gotten his just deserves. Yeah.
Yes.
Because Bob's like, I'm never coming back to the United Kingdom and letting one of my fighters get robbed. This is an outrage. It was, and Barbosa continues to be, he's an impressive fighter. He's not perfect. He doesn't jump off the screen, but he seems to do pretty much everything well. He's smart. He follows a game plan. He keeps his cool in the ring. He's a winner, and he's going to be hard to beat. I think he will, I think it would take one of the true elite talents in the sport fighting at their best to beat him, because he's the kind of fighter who's not going to beat himself. And I just, well, I don't know.
Maybe after the fight he might, if he gets, or maybe he'll go to
that's the kind of veteran experience though that he has, and a young fighter like Floyd Schofield doesn't have. He's trying to beat it during fight week.
Exactly.
Gets the masseuse in there. All of a sudden, she's got the cream on his ass.
You got to know when it's time to beat yourself.
And now he's going to have to jacking too soon. He's on load watch before the fight. Turkey's going to come in, send both of them to hell, literally. Anyway, Barbosa is like, I'm rooting for him.
I am. He didn't even have to get in Money Yaya's DMs to fight Pedraza that time, and he got the win. Look at his resume now. Beat Pedraza, beat Jose Ramirez, beat Jack Catterall, beat Zarija, beat Antonio Moran, Alex Saucedo. Like, this guy has done it the hard and long way, if you will, and now is the mandatory for Teofimo Lopez in that WBO title. Here's the situation, though. Teo has 180 days to make the fight. If he doesn't, he drops the belt. He moves up to welterweight, probably fighting the winner of Boots versus Stanionis later this year in a big Turkey card. But if he doesn't, Turkey wants to make this fight on Alcatraz Island. Does Teo say yes or not? Because, Rafe, you know this about Teofimo. If the best version of him shows up, I think he hands Barbosa his first defeat. But if any of those other versions show up, and I don't even know if the best is still in there, he may have removed the best of himself to find room for all this racism. I'm not really sure. But we need to see this fight. And these two fighters, I think, are the perfect main event for an Alcatraz gimmick like this. Let's go. Winner is the world champion.
Yeah, look, I do hope that Teo takes that fight. I mean, I want Teo in good fights. I want him to hopefully, get his head right. But if I have to choose just one, I'll take the good fights. And this would certainly qualify as that for me. I'm afraid he's chasing these mega fights and this giant payday that maybe he gets, maybe he doesn't. I'm also rooting for him not to get that, because I don't really want to see the way that he's gone about it be rewarded by, look, it's boxing, right? I mean, people that you bad behavior is generally rewarded. In fact, is usually required to succeed in the sport, on the business side and in the ring. But Teo has gone too far, in my opinion. And I'd like to, so I don't want to see him get whatever pot of gold at the end of the rainbow he's chasing by, stirring up shit with all this race like just constantly going back to the well with racist social media stuff, trying to be cute about it in interviews. It's not cute. Anyway, so I hope that the fight with Barbosa happens. Alcatraz would be awesome. That's a fun idea if they can make it happen with anybody. I mean, whether it's Teo and Barbosa, Teo and another opponent, 2 other fighters, that's just fun. And Barbosa, I would like to see him get an even bigger win or a bigger opportunity like that. He may look. I wouldn't necessarily favor him against Teofimo Lopez, but again, it's the kind of fight like that's why we like the sport is built to lead to these moments where a contender has won a bunch of, has beaten the other contenders and now gets a shot at the title list and who wants to defend his belt. It wouldn't be bad if that happened once in a while.
Well, Barbosa would cut a promo in a post-fight interview backstage challenging Teo, but he also said to the media there, he's fully prepared for Teo to vacate and Jack, and he claims he believes he can get a unification fight with Richardson Hitchens. I'd be down for that. It's a hardcore special, but I'd be down for that. Do you like that fight?
Yeah, why not? I mean, like it's not as sexy as a Teofimo Lopez fight on paper, but that's again, these are 2 fighters doing it the right way. And they would make that's a tough fight to win, right? I mean, Hitchens is not going to be easy for anybody to beat. But I mean, that's again, like that's another good fight. Let's see it.
Now, 2 white guys without tattoos, unless you're hiding one, are you?
I am, yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't know you were holding. Sorry, I didn't know you were packing. Did you like his aggressive tattoos, Arnold Barbosa? Not that it matters.
Are they different from previously?
No, but they're aggressive. I can't figure out if it's really cool or if he like missed on them.
Remind me what I haven't.
There's like a lot of faces on his back, and it like covers the like down the shoulders and stuff. I don't know if you watch boxing.
I do, but he just looks like a tatted up boxer to me. Like this is not, remember, okay, there used to be this guy who would always fight on undercards in Southern California, Hector Munoz, who had like the Maidana pistols. Like that's aggressive to me.
Yes, that is aggressive.
This, unless we're talking about that, I'm not too phased.
Did you ever see UFC champion Valentina Shevchenko, nicknamed Bullet, has a tattoo of a firearm on her midriff?
I'm interested.
Okay. Shout out to Louisville's finest Saul in the house, encouraging everybody to like the show, like the video, subscribe. You know what's going on. Thank you, Saul, for always being cool and having our back. Really happy for Barbosa. Really excited about the future at 35, 40, 47. I mean, did you see that interview where Turkey said on camera in his lair that he will be talking to PBC and Top Rank when he does come to the States pretty soon? He said he's going to be coming to the States after this February 22nd card. Does this take us all closer to everyone being in TKO Group Dana White's boxing league, you think? Do you think ultimately that Bob Arum and Al Heyman will be all in with Turkey before it's said and done for survival instinct purposes, partially where it's just our 2 or 3 biggest guys, or will they be on an island together? What do you think the future is?
I mean, I think the future most likely looks like what we've seen in the past couple of years, where when it makes sense, Top Rank and to perhaps a lesser degree, PBC fighters will participate in Riyadh season cards and take those opportunities when they make sense. As promoters, they'll be cut in and negotiate for whatever they want to put their fighters on those cards, and it'll just go like it. That seems like the easiest way for things to continue working. There is also I guess the respective ages of Bob Arum and Al Heyman, who are both gentlemen who've been around, law, entertainment, sports. I mean, they've lived more lives than most of us, will
just to
ever.
Update, Grandpa worked for RFK Sr. and Al was behind like the Budweiser series, the music tours, and the Jackson 5 reunion tour. So yeah, they've been doing this from the beginning.
So and they're both getting up in years, and we know that. I guess I could see why Turkey or someone who wants to who hopes that it could happen this way thinks that maybe this is the time to try and roll it all up. Maybe they're willing to sell the entire business, but that's the thing. You can't. And this is something, again, every week now I'm like, look, we need to talk to Mr. Esquire, talk to Kurt Emhoff, call that man.
Okay, so if I call him next week,
I don't jack on Kurt. I mean,
all right.
You know what I mean.
That guy's a fine New Yorker, a fine one. Okay?
That's right. I mean, look, you're only a New Yorker if you're born there, but I know what you mean. He's a fine Erie, Pennsylvanian.
So you're not even going to give him New York status?
Wow. He's a New York resident. This is non-negotiable. My father's not a New Yorker, and he's lived there more than I. He lived there longer than I did.
Okay, but I didn't know you people had these type of rules.
And there's people who live in New York. You can live in New York, and you're welcome to live. We're happy to have you, but you're not from New York unless where'd you go to high school? Where'd you go?
Sounds very similar to the first Naughty by Nature album, where Treach says, "If you ain't ever been to the ghetto, don't ever come to the ghetto, because you wouldn't understand the ghetto. So stay the F out of the ghetto." Thank you. Do you think they should remove all New Yorkers who weren't born there?
No. New York has ghettos, but it is not the ghetto. And you could, this is just a rule. It's just it's just the rule. I don't know what to say. I mean, it's a definition. Anyway, but no, I would not jack on.
Main card minutes there. Shout out to Luke Nocita. Thank you.
My bad. I would not miss an interview with Kurt, because one thing we could ask him is, how might that work if Turkey came in with and dropped the biggest bag imaginable, so much that Al Heyman and Uncle Bob, who aren't hurting for money themselves, right? Say, okay, we got to sell out to this guy. They're willing to sell their entire promotions to him. But does that mean that you can another person come in and just take over those contracts with individual fighters? Does it work
no, but don't forget,
if I'm Abdullah Mason and I don't want to be a Riyadh season fighter, does that person just own me because they bought out a contract? Is this straight up like the mob coming in and just being like, look, all right, I bought your debt, so you pay me now?
Well, not now, not yet. Maybe though. When UFC and TKO group,
in our dystopian future.
When UFC and TKO group get involved, if they can repeal the Muhammad Ali Act, if they want to turn this into like a league monopoly and basically draw a line and say you're either with us or you're against us, like I like to say, then maybe it kind of becomes that by default. Yeah. But the question is, how long would it take for that to actually be real? And in the meantime, for the people that haven't signed full time with DAZN, can they be in this give and take relationship with Turkey where we give you our stars sometimes, but you know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, you hear Top Rank talking about diversifying their portfolio over a couple different networks. If one of those networks could be Amazon Prime, then we could have this nice US alternative, right? With PBC and Top Rank together. It's just a thought. It's a thought. A couple other thoughts from the people here, Rafe. Here's Lazybed saying Rafe is one septum ring away from looking like a barista with that white brick backdrop. It takes he'll take an $11 oat milk latte. Thank you very much.
I do have some cream here.
Also, let's hear from Lazybed once more. Rafe and BC, what 80s or 90s wrestler could KO Jake Paul? Definitely
Brody?
Haku. Who would you say?
Bruiser Brody?
Bruiser, yes. Before they shivved him in the bathroom in Puerto Rico, you're damn right. You're damn right.
Who else did not take any mess as a wrestler? Who's the guy that slapped the who was it? John Stoller or something?
Dr. D, David Schultz, slapped him and then got cut from the WWF, even though Vince told him to protect the business. People know this. Another big question coming in for you. Oh, for me, first from Remix. Thank you for supporting the show. Credit to BC for making me a boxing fan. What's the most slept on title fight this weekend? That seems like a good transition, Remix. A perfect transition to what we got going on this weekend. So, of course, Saturday, DAZN, the last crescendo, aka the fight card of the century, is going down in Riyadh. So, Rafe, let's start with Remix's question, and I'll give it to you. 7 fights on this main card. I believe it starts at 10 a.m. Eastern time, and it gets over with as it goes dark. It's going to be a full day of turkey here. What is the most slept on title fight? All 7 fights have some form of title implication. What is the most slept on fight of the 7 this weekend that we're getting from Saudi Arabia?
That's tough, man. Like, this card is so deep, man. The most slept on fight. Is it? It's not the fight I'm most looking forward to, but as a fight that is truly just being slept on, it might be that opener, the Buatsi Callum Smith fight, which, I mean, both fighters can make very exciting fights. The style matchup seems to portend, SAT word, that kind of real bang, bang, bang affair between these guys.
Somebody say bang, bang. No Diddy, says your boy Zhang. All right.
Yeah, well, they're not bringing any lube into the ring for this one. They're raw dogging it. And look, it's also Buatsi finally sort of taking on a true, like, a former champion opponent, even though it's not at 100, even though Smith is not won any belts at 175. That's the one that is completely under the radar, and it would be, I mean, that would be an outstanding co-main in Liverpool, or anywhere at the O2 in London, or like, it would be so. Yeah, I think that might be the most slept on. And then what's crazy
maybe
is
maybe the co-main. Yeah, maybe you're right.
The actual co-main for this one,
the actual co-main of Dubois and Parker isn't getting the love it would or could or should, even though the winner's going to probably fight Usyk for the undisputed, right?
And that's just not the idea of a heavyweight title fight between, a former champion in Parker, who has been around and fought almost everyone at this point, and is on a great little resurgence, a run of his own, against Dubois, who just by beating AJ, put himself on the map as one of the top names in the sport. Like that but you just beat one of the 2 biggest stars in boxing. And it was spectacular last year. And he has all this juice, and it's a heavyweight title fight. That is, and
both are like rejuvenated. It's just kind of perfect. It really is.
It's so either of those are up there as the most slept on. And the thing is, they're not even the undercard fight that gets me the most pumped, Brian.
Okay, for me, it's Shakur and Schofield, just because it's weird and I just want to see. I know most people don't agree. What is the undercard fight that gets you the most pumped?
You already know what I'm talking about, Brian.
Please say Ortiz Madrimov, because that could be the fight of the year.
Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. Yes. I mean, I've always liked me some Madrimov. I like the Central Asian fighters and from Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, all the stands forever.
Yes, we stand for the stands on the show,
without a doubt. And Madrimov was impressive. His stock rose in the loss to Terrence Crawford last year. And this is a huge step up for Ortiz. It's just, that's a dope ass fight, and they're fun. They're both fun to watch. Man, I just think it's going to, I love it, man. I love it.
I'm fired up for this. All right, let's talk about this from a distance here. They did use this rhetoric, or attempted to, last year. If you remember, August 3rd of last year, Turkey brought his road show to the U.S. for the first time. They went to Carson, California, and the Nevada Hall of Fame awarded him an honorary, never forget that, an honorary spot, even though he hadn't stepped foot in there. That card was very good.
That was in Los Angeles proper, I believe. They did not. I wish they had gone to our
you're right. I was thinking
Carson,
it was a
California
soccer stadium in Carson next to the tennis arena. You're saying it was
LAFC. Yeah.
I take that back. Thank you. And I'll say this, on paper, which that one originally had Tim Tszyu versus Virgil Ortiz Jr., you could have made that argument, but then that fight got pulled. Then that turned into like a 12-hour day. And even though the main event was interesting, like, we kind of came out of there going, okay, that was fun, but there's a lot of other weird stuff. Why are people winning trips to Saudi? Why are we giving away free cars no one's ever heard of? Whatever. But this one, 6 months later, 7-8 months later, again, say what we will about the Turkey experience, it's been more good than bad. I don't know how you can look at this with all 7 fights staying together from when it was announced, all 7 having title implications or being Beterbiev Bivol 2, a rematch of a great first fight for the undisputed championship. I mean, like, it's what the hell are you going to say negative here? This might be the greatest card ever, even though we're laughing at them parading that. Is it better than any Don King pay-per-view we saw in the 90s before we took this stuff seriously? Can you, I mean, this is quality for quality. This is on par with some of those UFC super cards we've seen in recent years, or at least I've seen, where it's like, oh, we've never been to MSG, so here's like 9 awesome fights that you need to see back to back. Or, oh, it's UFC 300, so let's put great fights in the early prelims. This is insane, Rafe. Can you put this into context, what this means for Saudi boxing, for Turkey's reputation, for our sport? This is like a Super Bowl, and we don't have that in this sport.
Look, I think I don't really care about the context. I love this card, man. I don't. That's what, like, I am so excited about getting inside the box, Brian, because there is so much box going to be out there this weekend that I don't care about what it means about the big picture. I don't want to give it perspective. I want to dive into it and absorb and just roll around in it. I want to feel like Scrooge McDuck jumping into my pile of Saudi money. I mean, but it's not money, it's box. I'm diving into the pool of box this weekend. Wow. And it's just nonstop great fights. And
speaking of a pool of box, that great scene in Color of Night when Bruce Willis and Jane March jumped into the pool. Yeah, I was equally as excited.
Those early mid-90s erotic thrillers, man. Yes. Sea of Love, like, what was going on back then? Like,
good stuff. All right, good stuff. Natter knows, right?
Yeah. Look, I think I can't think of a better card top to bottom than this one. And that really sort of hit home this morning. I was listening to the BBC 5 Live Buatsi running down each fight on this card. And for whatever reason, I had kind of rolled my eye. I'm a hater, man. Mm-hmm. And I had rolled my eyes at the greatest card ever talk. And I'm like, man, who cares? It's a good card. Let's keep it moving. I like the fights too. But then I started thinking about what each of these fights is going to look like in the ring. Ooh. And then you got this fun as hell heavyweight fight between Big Bang Zhang and Ajit Kabayel, just out there in the middle of it all. And it's going to be overwhelming. It's going to take forever. I know myself, there are going to be moments on Saturday where I'm like, come on, get on with it.
Why do we have 3 host desks? Why do we have 18 pieces of talent on this broadcast?
But I don't care. It's going to be worth all that mess because it's just, every fight is good. Every fight is something you want to see. Some of them are fights we wouldn't even expect to be getting in a good year. Like, this one card might be better than like the year, what was it, 2013?
2014, the year of suck.
Yeah.
2012 was really bad.
Any of those bad, teen years last decade.
Really bad. Yeah. I remember
this one years. Card might have more like star power and good matchmaking. The other thing is amazing. Look at, like, I don't mean to pump up the sports books here, but you pull up whatever sports book you bet on and you look at the odds. 3 or 4 of these don't have a plus 200 underdog. They're all 50-50 fights.
I think we talked about before, BoxRec has rated, of these 7 fights, 4 of them are rated the 5-star, the highest rating, and the other 3 are rated 4 stars. Like, that's unfreaking heard of. Like, no, come on.
It's awesome, man. And
what about the price? What do I love best about it? The price. I'm not normally a price guy because most people steal these anyway, but AZ raises a point. He's literally making these $30 pay-per-views. I don't know how long it lasts. I don't know if once TKO gets involved, they go, we got to start making money here. Okay, we got to stop giving away gifts. But we know great pay-per-views these days cost $70, $80, $100 sometimes. That's a pretty insane price.
That is extremely generous. It's the best. This is the time, as boxing hardcores, as boxing fans, if you have casual or sort of, boxing curious, even your bi-curious friends, tell them, get in this box. This is the time. Wow. All right. Shell out your $30. Yeah. If you're, yeah. No, I mean, this is because this is I like, we're all going to be on load watch after 2 fights. And then, this is like, drink your pineapple juice, take your vitamins, do whatever you need, because we're going to need we're going to need to recover a few times during this night of box.
Well, I got to ask you an important question. This is in real time. We didn't prep this. A box this good, a box this well manicured. If you get what I'm saying, right? Yeah. I mean, you did go to Chota on that bus ride that time, so I think you know what I'm saying, right? A card so nice. Rob R had to buy it twice. Are we going to give the people what they want and deserve after 12 hours of boxing and come together over me? Boom, 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 on the BCX?
Yes, hell yes. We did it after that was one of my favorite BCX moments between us inside the box. When we came together after the first Bivol fight. I'll just mash them together like that and try to make sense of what we just saw. And I expect this fight. And that's the other, honestly, listen to us. That might be the most slept on fight, because we talked about all these other ones. We haven't talked about the rematch of an incredible
main event. Yeah.
Undisputed fight like that. That is as much of a toss up as anything else on the card, with great storylines about how it could play out in the ring, how it could look different from the first one. I mean, it is just, yes, I'll come back for this. Yes.
And Dave Sandine would know about how much it costs to get some box, because that ex-military has paid for it a few times, but this is a very good price for some box indeed. We have a question here from Arturo. Watch along. I would love to, but I have editorial responsibilities during the card for CBS Sports and immediately after. But if this thing ends around that 6 p.m. area like we expect, or 7 p.m., yeah, we'll be on Saturday night. Okay. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Maybe get your Bunsey reaction first and then come back for these guys.
I got to say, I do one thing. So, listening. So if we have any top blokes, across the pond, or just from across the pond listening right now, who want to help me clarify this, Bunsey was talking about the Zhang fight, and he was throwing around the C-man like it was a normal term multiple times, calling him a giant. Just like,
wait,
yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Wait, what was he trying to say? That he's a C-level fighter, so he's a C-man?
No. A certain term that is not that is in American English is viewed as a slur against people of Chinese descent.
Oh, yes.
Bunsey was just like he was so enthusiastic. I mean, and I'm not judging him for it. Like, I don't know if it carries the same weight in British English. So I'm not trying to get him in trouble, but I was just like bugging out, listen to it, because he's like, Zhang is this giant C-man. Like, I swear to God, he says it like 2 or 3 times. Crazy.
Okay, sir. Please. No more of that racism. Let's go fight by fight. Let's get really excited about this main event. Beterbiev Bivol Part 2. They fight last year. It was a fight of the year contender, a technical thriller, as I love to say. That people hate that term. How did you score it the first time around? How do you expect the rematch to be different?
Okay. We talked about it. I had it 7-5 Beterbiev, razor thin. I thought it was the kind of fight that felt like it felt more like a draw to me than actually one where either fighter clearly deserved the win. But when I looked at, I was trying to do it honestly and score it during the fight, and that's what I came out with. I go back and look at it again. The rounds come out all different. Still, 7-5 Beterbiev. I thought that he did it.
You got to watch it in black and white with the volume down, like a real head. Okay,
like in true Lee Wiley fashion. Look, man, good for Lee Wiley, man. He's working with Ben Davison.
Hell yeah,
he's killing it.
By the way, Lee Wiley also scored Trout over Canelo.
Yes, you guys. Yes. And so, but I remember also feeling like Bivol had, thinking that Bivol could improve on his performance, that he seemed, I thought that he, when he decided to sit down on punches and back up Beterbiev, he did it very successfully. He won exchanges. And I think that there's a big risk in doing so, but I think that if he is willing and able to do that a little bit more, and of course that could mean running out of gas, it could mean getting into trouble sooner, putting himself, in more danger, but he convinced me that he could fight more aggressively and put more distance between himself as clearly sort of the more fluid, faster, and I think better all around, pure boxer. But I think he needs to have more moments in the fight where he puts that on display, where he wins a flashy exchange, where he backs up Beterbiev, and fewer, and also I don't know how, this is obvious. Like no one has really, this is Beterbiev. That guy is a beast, a fucking beast. But like I think that if he could, if he, I don't know, again, I don't know if it's possible, but if he could come up with a way to basically just the moments when he's resting, when Beterbiev has some success, try to hide it a little bit better, because there were moments where his body language just wasn't good in the ring, where it seemed like he was winning a round, and then Beterbiev has a moment in the last 30 seconds, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, I might have to give this to Beterbiev, because Bivol looks like he might not have survived the round if it was 15 seconds longer. So if there is, and again, like, forget, like, getting to the end of these rounds, getting to the end of the fight is something that no one had ever done against Beterbiev. So the idea that, hey man, do it again, just, try to look a little, just don't look like you have any trouble doing it, is kind of a crazy thing to say. I think Bivol's good enough to pull it off. So here's what and I don't know if I'm supposed to get to it right away, but let's do it.
Just give it to, I want the whole load.
Yeah, I'm going to shoot it. You started it though. Yeah. So I'm gonna do what I do, and I think I say that Bivol. I think the Russian is more to my liking in this, and when I say the Russian, I mean Dmitry Bivol. I think that the narrative of the first fight, where it was so close, and I think the slight majority of boxing fans think that Bivol deserved that win more than Beterbiev, and I don't think that that's a crazy take at all. I think so. Between that narrative, the fact that I think that I feel like Bivol can put more distance between himself and Beterbiev, and it might get his ass knocked out, but I think he can do it, and I hope he gives it a shot. I also think that if the fight plays out exactly the same, it will probably be. There's a good chance that Bivol could win just because it was that close, and he'll have that narrative on his side. And that, as much as judges are taught and trained not to let that get into their heads, I think it's impossible not to be aware of those narratives and maybe shade a little bit more in the other direction this time around.
Dude, I think it's going to lead both of them to feel like they didn't do enough the first fight. Bivol, because he knows so many people scored it for him. I scored it 7-5 for him. A lot of people did. He's naturally going to take the criticism of running the last 3 rounds, which he did to a large degree, not a full-on Oscar versus Trinidad, but also not that. And then Beterbiev, who won the fight, heard so many people saying Bivol won the fight. I think naturally you're going to see a faster pace. You're going to see the guys more willing to get after it. Not Hagler Hearns, but like, let's go hard to the body. Let's make this a man-on-man affair. Okay. Like, I mean, if you're gonna do a man-on-man affair with great light heavyweights, you better add Yusuf to that. You make it a trio, make it a 3. All right, enough of that. What I'm saying here is I agree with you. I think Bivol wins this. I think, as Turkey said, we get an immediate trilogy. I think it's going to be a great fight, but if it goes the way I'm saying, where they're both going to step on the gas and step up and take more risk, obviously, I think we want to be leery of that, because be careful what you ask for, getting in a firefight with Beterbiev. But dude, when Bivol, and he showed this against Canelo, when he commits to sitting down on combinations in front of you with that speed and accuracy, he's got a stick, and Beterbiev can be hurt. In fact, who landed the bigger punches in the first fight? It was Bivol. He rocked him in that 7th round. But when he tried to capitalize on it, he got rocked. So he's going to have to be careful. But are we missing the point there, though, that if he does exactly what we're saying he's going to try to do, Bivol, he's going to increase his chances of getting knocked out tenfold.
Well, we're not missing it. We both identified it almost immediately.
Yeah.
I guess I think he should take that risk, or at least a little bit more. I don't think that he needs to. I don't think you're saying, and I know I'm not saying that Bivol just needs to go in there guns blazing and get into a firefight. He should fight like himself. But I think like in a way where just a little more aggressive, pick a few moments, try to beat him to the punch a few extra times and win a couple of exchanges and just create a little more separation. And yes, there is risk in that. And Beterbiev is so dangerous when he's dangerous when he's hurt. He's dangerous when he's not hurt. He's dangerous. He's dangerous in the first round. He's dangerous at like the last 30 seconds of the 12th. And his hands are so heavy that yes, Bivol landed what appeared to be the cleanest, best shots that did affect Beterbiev. And yet many times in that fight, Beterbiev not landing as cleanly seemed to have Bivol in serious trouble. So it's gonna be like, and you just hyping it up, talking about it like the bell is gonna ring. It's gonna be like round 13, and we're just back in it, brother. Oh my God, I need a cigarette already.
So think about it. Bivol we know is going to be more offensive, but Beterbiev could be hurt. He got rocked in round 7 the first time. Imagine if they're trading knockdowns, and this is fight of the year contender. Bivol wins a decision close or a stoppage, and then we do it a third time. And damn, this is going to be awesome. Like what Turkey doesn't understand because he's quickly changing the game and giving boxing.
He doesn't understand that it's a long way from the lip to the cup.
Well, he definitely doesn't understand that, right? Unless he's the one carving. No, I'm kidding. Shout out to journalists dying though. But what I wanted to say was, what he doesn't realize is that forget $30 for 7 great fights. He could have put this at $79.99 for just this one fight. We would not complain. This is going to be awesome on Saturday. This is going to be historical. I don't want it to be hysterical, but like, I cannot wait. Remember how emotional I was when I thought they screwed Bivol when we did the reaction show last time. I mean, I'm going to be in my feels during this. This is going to be great. I'm predicting Bivol by another one of these decisions where people will be like, man, I still have Beterbiev winning. I still have him up 2-0. You know what I'm saying? But no, Bivol's going to get it done. He's going to be more offensive. He's going to package in knockdowns. The question is, can he avoid getting multiple knockdowns and stopped himself? I say yes, because this is the defining fight of his career. This is the moment. And if you want to add a new narrative to this from the last time, I heard Katie Bivol's doing another one of these live streams again. I mean, I'd be willing to do a fight companion of her stream where we get somebody who can translate Russian for us and we just react to everything she's saying live.
That sideshow, it's undignified. It's
okay. Yeah, but so is boxing. Okay, so is boxing. All right, for the sake of brevity and time, we need to keep going here. Let's go to that co-main event. Daniel, what was your prediction? Bivol by decision?
Bivol decision, yeah.
All right, Daniel Dubois, second defense of the IBF title that he only got because they stripped Usyk for not fighting him immediately when they had the rematch against Fury set up. But to Dubois' credit, he became a candidate for Fighter of the Year. He knocked out your boy Filip Ergovic. He knocked out Anthony Joshua in an absolute slugfest, but a one-sided one. So now he's the demolition man, the triple D. But Joseph Parker, formerly of world title status, formerly of Burger King sponsor status in New Zealand, seems to also be back, rejuvenated. At his best, Parker is certainly more boxer than puncher. Rafe, what are we looking at with this fight here? Because if Dubois is still the same guy from the AJ fight, it could be a short night for Parker. I really mean that, right? But he also has to be willing, where AJ was willing to get into battle and go to war. Could Joseph Parker outbox Dubois and win a decision here and leap himself into a Usyk fight for all 4 belts?
Of course it's possible. I mean, Parker has so much experience in the division. He's never looked, completely out of a fight, and he's in better shape and fighting better now than he was, shortly after his championship run. So he's, there's a lot to believe in. And there's also as exciting, as exhilarating as it has been, as it was to watch Dubois last year. You can certainly, nitpick those victories over Hrgović and AJ, who are like, I mean, yes, Hrgović was undefeated, but we'd seen, he went life and death and almost looked like he didn't want to finish that fight with Zhang. And then he also, and AJ, I mean, we know the story there. If you can hurt him, you can beat him. So anyway, there are reasons to doubt that Dubois is quite as good as he looked, just because of the opponents. And I man, it's a tough one to call. It really is. It would be if there were long odds, it would be maybe a good upset pick. But if you're just,
but it's not. It's close.
That's the thing. It's not. Yeah.
So according to DraftKings, by the way, let me update you. DraftKings for the main event, Beterbiev -130, Bivol +105. That says it. I'm surprised that these are all so close, because even in close fights, boxing odds are typically a lot wider than MMA. But look at this: -300 Daniel Dubois, +235 Joseph Parker. So,
yeah. Look, I do sort of like the Joe Parker underdog pick, but basically, to me, Dubois loses only if he's exposed. If it turns out that, he's not who we thought he was. Like those wins last year turned out to be a little flukier in retrospect than they seemed in the moment. We got swept up because they were awesome fights, and it was so much fun to see this fighter who come back from having to bow out against Joe Joyce, and then getting stopped in the Usyk fight. All of
getting stopped by a jab when you're exhausted in the Usyk
right
fight. Yeah.
All of this. But I think Dubois, I think it was real enough. And Parker, while at the beginning of his heavyweight run was talked about as a puncher, I think we've seen over time that that's not really who he is in this division. He's athletic, smart, experienced, tough heavyweight, but but someone who probably isn't going to go out there and take this belt from Dubois in that fashion. He's going to have to outbox him and sort of outfox him. And Dubois, I believe in the confidence that he seemed to have gained last year, and his power is legit, man. And I think there will be a moment where he gets to Parker, and either, Parker's not been stopped, right? He had to go through hell to get that win against Joe Joyce, he lost that one. Did he get Joyce maybe late against Joe Joyce?
That could be.
That might have been the last hurrah of Joe Joyce.
I got that in front of me. Let me find Joseph Parker right here.
Anyway, look, I think Dubois is going to win.
All right, so he's 35-3, lost the decision to AJ, and then immediately after that lost the 12-round decision to Dillian White, and then was knocked out in round 11 in 2022 by Joe Joyce. There you
go. So look, I think, but what Dubois, I don't know if he will stop him, but I think he'll get to him, hurt him, maybe get a knockdown, put some distance between himself on the cards, and manage to win that way. I think there will be a knockdown or knockdowns. I don't know if I'm not predicting a stoppage, but
Natter wants to remind you that Big Bang Zhang dropped him twice.
Zhang drops everybody. That guy, I think he's the hardest puncher in the division.
Wow. All right. I'm really excited about this. I think Parker's going to win rounds early. He's going to box. He's going to be himself. But I believe in this destroyer version of Dubois. I think it's something that can last until he gets sunned, until he gets knocked the hell out, because he gets into that like robot destroyer mode. And I think he's figured out how to unlock that. He believes in his power. Dude, he's improved his ability to put power punches together, combination. I mean, he's improved in every category. It's not just improving on the old reputation that people thought he quit against Joyce until they found out the extent of the injury. I like Dubois here, and I like him to finish Parker. I think he's going to make it happen, and I think it's going to be better for everything. Even though if Parker gets the upset, give him Usyk. I think it's going to be better for everything if Dubois enters an Usyk rematch fresh off another knockout of a former champion and a top elite guy. And then we can really play up that storyline of did Triple D stop Usyk to the body in what was called a blow. All that stuff. That's going to be a hell of a rematch for the undisputed championship. But either way, we'll see. I'm going Dubois late knockout. It sounds like you're going
Dubois by decision, but
all right.
yeah.
All right. We'll keep it flowing. We'll keep it going here. Carlos Adames, the only fight we haven't mentioned, a really good one, by the way, a 5-star rated fight by BoxRec. Carlos Adames going to defend his WBC world middleweight title against 21-0 Hamza Shiraz, who's riding something like a 13-fight knockout streak. Adames can be, he's kind of always been a little feast or famine. He'll look spectacular like he did against that guy Montiel, and then he'll look a little human other times. But he's defended the title a few times. He's a southpaw. He's explosive. Shiraz, though, seems to be the next thing in this division, although anyone who believes that has to go through Janibek. They got to go through Kazakhstan to find out. What's going to happen in this one? Is this going to be the Shiraz takeover moment?
I think it goes one of two ways, right? It's either like a star-making performance from Shiraz, where we see, okay, this, like, all of the talent, all of those attributes, the height, however he gets down comfortably to 160 pounds at this stage in his young career, all of that comes together and he looks awesome. Or it's a little too much too soon, and Adames, who just has not, other than waking up the greatest night of Pat Teixeira's life, it has been just really looked pretty good almost every time out. I think
a couple times he just looks regular, but
PBC matchmaking sometimes, man, where like even the fighters know that the fight doesn't matter.
He's coming off of wins over Julian Williams by stoppage and Terrell Gaucher by decision.
Oh yeah, that recent I don't know.
But he did beat Derevyanchenko in an absolutely legit war.
Yeah. Shoot. Look, this is such a hard one to call because it's like it's one where I'm not super confident yet in either fighter for different reasons.
Yeah. It could be fun. It could be fun when Adames steps on that gas and goes after it, and he's facing a puncher. But shout out to Bob Santos in the corner, one of my favorite trainers. Are you in on the number one that Bob Santos gives in the corner while his fighters getting the camera on him? Absolutely. That's the best thing going in boxing right now.
Anyway, look, I'm just gonna, just to keep things moving. Let's say, and this is me voting with my heart. I'm gonna say Shiraz does not live up to the hype.
Ooh.
And Adames, I just want to root for an underdog on this card, and he's one of the few people who actually has a little bit long. I think I remember longer odds on this one.
I'll tell it to you right now. We've got Shiraz is a -255 favorite, +200 Adames.
Yeah, I don't think Adames is that. I don't even understand exactly why he should be an underdog given
I agree
their careers to this point. And maybe I'm missing how undeniable Shiraz's talent is, but usually you got to prove that once before you start getting the benefit out. And if he does that, he can have it from me until something else changes. But
25 years old is Shiraz, 21-0 with 17 KOs, but like Austin Ammo Williams might be the best.
Yeah, he's getting the Matchroom special almost every time out until now.
I'm going to take Adames here by upset. I'm going to take Adames by decision. I have a feeling the fight won't live up to our entertainment expectations, but Adames survives and advances.
Well, so right now, everyone listening, when me and BC agree on some hipster shit like that,
yes,
run in the opposite direction.
Does Turkey deserve more credit related to this fight card from this factor? I always say there's 5 major boxing promoters, but there's that promotion Boxer that's also in the mix. They had a US TV deal on Peacock. All 6 promoters are represented in this 7-fight card, with TGB representing PBC, which has Adames. That's wild, dude. That's exactly what we would want. That's unification. That's everyone coming together. It's wild. It's wild. And also Hank Williams IV says Shiraz with Frank Warren.
Oh, my bad.
Shout out as well. All right. Real quick too, before we continue down the card, Turkey has said publicly that he wants to get Jim Lampley to Saudi Arabia and get him involved somehow. And then I don't know if you saw Turkey's AMA on Reddit, but he was asked about Max Kellerman and in combining him with Lampley, and he gave a positive response that it's something he's into. keep in mind, DAZN is already offering like multiple different streams. You can watch the regular one. You can watch the True Geordie live stream. You can watch the
like the Star Trek guy.
No, but the podcast guy, you can watch Showbiz the Adult. So like they kind of got their bases covered. They did one with the Ring Magazine guys, last fight card with Steve Kim and Dougie Fisher. Should they do in your eyes a Max Kellerman, Jim Lampley alternative commentary, or should they just make those guys the lead DAZN team, or is it too late for Lamps? What do you think?
If you're paying those guys to do that, you got to make them your main team, or at least your main US team. They are synonymous with the sport to almost all, fans who came up watching HBO and ESPN. And while, I do take the piss out of Lamps from time to time. He's the voice that I associate with great moments in boxing.
Yes.
And no, despite all the good work that other folks currently have done, on all the other networks, it's still
including me and Abner.
Right. It's still, it's still Lampley, and I love Max too, man. He's from New York. He's from my neighborhood. He went to my high school. Like
we both went to Fame, right?
Shit, no, we did not go to LaGuardia.
You always get angry at that joke. That's why I keep bringing it back. Great.
that those references actually mean something real to us.
Yes,
no, I mean, he's so, I hope Max gets back. I don't know what the contract business is, obviously at the end of his run at ESPN, they bought him out, or he's hanging in there, but shoot, I'd love to have him back in the sport.
Yeah. Bang, bang. Try and stop me. Okay. Bang, bang. There you go. All right. Let's keep it going here. We got a little bit more and we'll shut this thing down. We get to Vergil Ortiz Jr. 22-0, stopped his knockout consecutive streak, as did Beterbiev, by the way, in beating Bivol. It stopped his streak when Vergil Ortiz beat Sergey Boachuk last year. He scored 3 victories in 2024 in his comeback after being out for 2 years. He won by decision. It was a fight of the year contender. He stopped his streak. 22-0, 21 KOs against the 10-1-1 Madrimov, who's coming fresh off losing his title last August to Bud Crawford. The odds: Vergil Ortiz minus 125, plus 100 for Madrimov. Now that surprises me a little because I think Madrimov showed against Bud that he might be a higher class boxer than Vergil Ortiz. Maybe not the same in terms of aggressiveness, but Madrimov also showed against Bud he can fight a little too. He was awkward as shit. This is a great fight. Are you okay with these odds? Does it matter to you?
Well, I'm not mad. I mean, who cares? But I agree that I make Madrimov a slight favorite in this fight. And his recent performances just seem to have been stronger. He's been in this division throughout his career. He's got that Olympic pedigree. He's a really, really just very sneaky athletic fighter. Moves really well in the ring. I think he plays around a little bit in there in ways that I don't love. And I've noticed that over the years, but he's a really A-class talent. And looked like he belonged in there with Bud Crawford. Who didn't look like he belonged in there with Bud Crawford? Errol Spence. If you talk about this isn't the first time Vergil Ortiz has fought a previous Bud Crawford opponent. He fought Edgis Kavaliauskas, the Mean Machine, my Lithuanian, yes. After Bud knocked him out, and that was one where that was a close fight, right? I mean, it was nip and tuck, and there were moments where Kavaliauskas made it scary for Ortiz. I think that Madrimov is not only obviously bigger, but he's a better, on another level there. And I've loved Ortiz for a long time. When at 140 pounds, I was so excited for him. He lost a little bit of that momentum because of the problems he had making weight over the last couple of years. Got it back last year. I feel like he's struggled a few times with opponents who, if you're that good, you wouldn't be struggling with. And I think that Madrimov is going to kind of help him find that ceiling.
Arturo believes that I wonder, I thought about this. Was Bud not as motivated, right? Coming off of that Spence fight, did he underestimate Madrimov? Did Madrimov exceed expectations with his awkwardness, feints, and movement? Yeah, I think that's all true. He also seems pretty legit and elite after that performance. But to be fair, does Madrimov have this history of beating all killers? No. I mean, he had the draw with Michel Soro. He won the rematch. He's, he beat a couple Russian-based guys with unbeaten records, but I don't know what he's going to do going in there against Ortiz. I mean, he just went in there against Bud Crawford, who's arguably the best in the world, and arguably won. I guess my fear is we've seen some one-night wonders in boxing before, right? Brian Castano looked like $1 million in that first Charlo fight. Like, we've seen a few of those, right? Is Madrimov going to find himself in a war here, and can he swim in this war, or will he dictate the terms to Ortiz because of his awkwardness? I mean, that's all a big part of why we're going to watch. Who ends up getting their hand raised, though?
So you're right. I think if I'll answer one part of that question also. If they do get into it, if Madrimov does find himself in a war with Virgil Ortiz, I favor Virgil in that, because I think his power is legit, even as he's going up in weight. And I would, and he's just a nasty body puncher, and just it would, if Madrimov wins this fight, it will be because he's able to outbox Virgil over 12 rounds and make the fight happen on his terms. Mostly from start to finish. And, if you can't see where I'm going with this, I kind of think that's what's going to happen. I have Madrimov by, I think it'll be competitive. I think Virgil will have moments, but I don't think he will get to Madrimov to do enough damage to win the rounds, to hurt him and change the tone of the fight in the way that he would need to. I think it'll be, I see it as like a competitive, but pretty easy to call decision for Madrimov in the 9-3, 8-4.
I think so too. That's my knee-jerk reaction. Unless, though, that he doesn't throw enough punches. Unless he doesn't, the activity of Ortiz, if this ends up being a 12-rounder, that's close and exciting. But don't forget, Ortiz got dropped twice by Boachuk. And don't forget, Madrimov may have faked an injury to get out of that Boachuk fight from 2 months ago in order to be fully healthy for this one.
Well, he faked that injuries because there was this big opportunity coming up and it was going to pay him better. I mean, I don't think that that was just a business decision.
Indeed. Let's continue on down this card. We've got Shakur Stevenson putting that 22-0 record and WBC lightweight title against the 18-0 22-year-old Floyd Kid Schofield. We already talked this fight up huge. The odds are minus 1,200 Shakur, plus 700 Kid Schofield. Outside of creams and massages, what are we thinking here? This will either be a Shakur 9-3 win, or maybe he stops the young kid. What are the odds that Schofield lures him into the type of fight that could give him a chance?
I don't think it's possible at all. I mean, you go ahead, talk me into this. I'll tell you right now, Shakur 12-0, Shakur 11-1.
Okay, so I know people might be thinking, BC, why did you say this was the one you're most intrigued of? Because I'm intrigued of the balls here of Schofield. I really am. I'm intrigued of what happens.
So is the masseuse.
Well, because Turkey matches these guys really tough, and it's going to produce craziness. And sometimes you're going to see Big Baby getting knocked out by Bacoli, but I think sometimes you're going to see people break through, when you didn't expect it. I don't think this is that fight. I know how great Shakur is. Oh, Reggie J here. Hold on. I got to close this door 1 second. But 12-0. Yeah, maybe. Does the dad throw in the towel quickly, knowing that they already said they're doing this for the money? Your thoughts?
Oh, gee. I mean, Shakur it depends on how he approaches the fight. If it's sort of like the Oscar Valdez fight where he is really punishing him and it gets ugly fast and it's headed towards a natural stoppage, then maybe. If it's like what was that fight with the whole girlfriend thing, the Jafet Gonzalez?
I beat Joette Gonzalez. I took his girl and the title. Yeah.
that fight was terrible. And Shakur is completely capable of doing that almost anytime he wants, right? He's like, I'm going to come in here, win every round, make you look silly and piss everyone off in the process. And that's what I think will happen.
Indeed, right there. Quick update here. People have been asking nicely. Appreciate the support here, Andrew Nance. Thank you for stopping in. Reggie J is here. He's having good days and bad days. Today was a rough day. A couple of days ago was a really bad day, but in between, he's showing signs. So we're getting there. He's got like a really bad respiratory illness. We got to get him in for that dental surgery. Sometimes he's himself and he's playing and he is eating, which is a good sign. But sometimes he's not himself. So I'm bringing him to the docks tomorrow. We should get another update. But shout out to Reggie J. I know you're not a big fan of cats.
I am now. I grew up with cats. I love cats.
Yeah. The musical or the animal?
I like the animal more than the musical. But you could talk me into the Rum Tum Tugger, whatever that guy's name.
Oh,
I was a fan back in the day. He had some flavor.
Little tug and pull of kindness with Keith Thurman over there. All right, there we go. Here we go.
Mustang grease on it.
Let's put this thing to bed. It's a fantastic show we're giving the people here.
Man, I apologize, man. I load watched myself on a few fights ago on this card. That's how good it is, man.
It is indeed. Bang Bang Zhang. He's back. Maybe he deserves.
Why is he the underdog in this one?
Maybe he deserved the decision against Parker. He's probably the underdog because he doesn't drink water and he's got about 3.5 good rounds. But if he can knock you out in those, he's facing 25-0 Ajit Kabayel, the German 32-year-old, 17 KOs. Your odds at the moment: Big Bang plus 135, the underdog minus 165 according to DraftKings. Kabayel. Here's the question: how good's Kabayel in your eyes?
I'm not certain enough to make him a favorite in this fight personally. Zang, we know what his limitations are. They're obvious, but God damn, you're going to have to earn it against him, and you got to be better than him. And man, I don't know if I believe that Kabayel is that quite yet. Who did Kabayel beat after our friend Makhmudov the Lion? Because that was a good performance. I mean, I credit, but
he beat Frank Sanchez. He beat 24-0 Frank Sanchez by 7th round KO in Riyadh. That's not nothing, dude. That is not
nothing. It's definitely better than beating the Lion. Look, it's impressive. I don't know, man. Zhang, I favor Zhang in this one, man. I think that he's still, man, that left is so nasty. And unless Kabayel can move for 12 rounds and stay out of the way of that thing, and Zhang is sneaky with it, man. It'll come out of nowhere. And even he's slow. Yeah, it'll come out of nowhere. He's slow of foot, but man, all of a sudden it'll just come out of nowhere. Just blap. And it could be not, the fight's over at that point, or it could be close to over. So yeah, I like Zhang in this fight.
AZ Ray saying this could be the best episode of the Inside the Box era. I mean, that's what the people are saying. Okay, right there. I'm gonna go Zhang too. Big Bang. I think he's good. This is gonna be a multiple knockdown fight. This is gonna be a war, but it's got to happen early because Big Bang fades a lot. But the thing is, he'll fade for like 4 rounds and then come back to life. It's kind of wild.
He still has a couple of, he saves a little bit in the tank to uncork a giant left every now and then, just to keep you honest.
Now and then. All right, quickly to open. This is a great card. 19-0 Joshua Buatsi will defend the interim WBO light heavyweight title against 30-2 Callum Smith of the Smith family. 34 years old is Mundo. We did see him 2 fights ago against Beterbiev. He ultimately got stopped in the 7th round. Lost to Canelo Alvarez in 2020. Remember that as well. The odds at this moment have Buatsi a minus 205 favorite, plus 165 for Callum Smith. Good ass fight. I thought Buatsi would be bigger and further ahead at this point. He's 31 now from Accra, Ghana, fighting out of the UK, still undefeated at 19-0. What has been the problem? Have you been following him closely? What's been the problem there?
I try and follow him, and then he never gets over the hump, right? You're right. We've been waiting. We've been watching. We've heard. Then we like, oh man, we should go check this out. Then we check it out. Okay, I see some signs, but he's never put it together and had a really great performance that makes you think, that he would be much trouble for Bivol or Beterbiev or now Benavidez or even Morelli.
Yeah.
I've even, even these guys who've been in the division for 2 fights, I rate them above him because he just never looked like he could put it all together that way. And I still feel that way. I mean, there's a chance that there's nothing left, that Beterbiev took whatever was left of Callum's soul. But these Smith boys, they got 9 lives. They got some Reggie Jackson, and we've seen Beefy come back time and time again, and fight well. Give people a run for their money. Even have some crazy upsets.
He's got more gray hair than I do. I mean, this part's dyed, but
he's been gray since he's like Anderson Cooper out here.
Yeah, like a young
I don't know about all of Anderson. Anyway, but Callum is now Callum as sort of, he always was sort of like the golden boy of the Fighting Smith family, where he had, he was clearly, he had big, rangy middleweight, looked like the most, or super middleweight, looked like the most talented naturally, and sort of fought with that sort of on and off switch type. I've got more talent. I don't go after it as hard as my brothers do. And so there's that side of it, where I don't believe in Callum's, in his balls the way I do Beefy's, those beefy balls.
Boxing kind of needs Buatsi to be real here, though, and enter the mix at light heavyweight. And by the way, we found out, according to Lance Pugmire of Boxing Scene, David Benavidez will be ringside with Mauricio Suleiman Jr. of WBC.
Yeah, well, he'll be there for the main to talk about fighting who wins the main event, not these guys.
No, but I'm saying, like, there's a lot going on, obviously, at light heavyweight. Canelo might come back again after Crawford, for all we know. Yeah.
That's it, Brian. Tell me if it's too harsh here, but I don't see it for Buatsi. I think that Smith is still a good fighter. Yeah, like he got outclassed by 2 of the just top 5, top 3 outstanding fighters of the last 10 years. But Buatsi is not either of those guys. And he has never even looked particularly close to them.
I think this will be the fight he becomes that. Some guys, when they're not facing super elite competition, and he really hasn't, Buatsi, you're only going to be so much. When you're in there against an experienced veteran, someone with speed and power, it might bring out more of him. I'm hoping it's not Buatsi by decision, but he looks bad. I'm hoping Buatsi has a breakthrough moment here. We're going to see. Damn, this could be a main event of a DAZN card. No one would have any issues. We'd be down for it. It's the curtain jerker on a 7-fight main card that I believe starts 10:30, 10:45 a.m. early as shit.
Wow, that's great, man. What a good day.
What a great day. So hopefully you and I will be there late Saturday, breaking it down for you folks. Okay.
Oh Brian, this card, they should have come up with they talk about alternative broadcast. They should have come up with like an alternative poster where they just, they did like Randy, the dad from South Park, the meme, what I'm talking about. He's at his computer. He's been partaking a little bit in the cream and the clear. That is how, I feel like that now. I'm like, when Saturday rolls around, good God, that's a lot of good boxing.
Real quick, do you care about the rest of boxing this weekend? Here we go. Wednesday night, Jamestown, California, Pro Box TV, Gabriel Flores versus Jose Arellano, 10 rounds lightweights.
I'm not drinking that Kool-Aid.
All right. Friday night, I believe, no, the 20th. That's a Thursday night. New York City, DAZN, Avius Griffin versus Jose Luis Sanchez, 10 rounds welterweights. Is this a DeBella card?
What does DAZN do? DAZN, you don't need to give it that much. Like you don't need that much content. It's fine. Like people don't need to see that.
Then we've got the big card Saturday from Riyadh. There's also a card Friday night on UFC Fight Pass from Santa Ynez, California. Kane Sandoval versus Mark Bernaldez, 10 rounds lightweights. That might be a Loeffler affair. Are you into that?
Not into it.
Okay. And then we got the big one. And then off TV. No, I guess you're not into that either. All right. That'll wrap it up. Okay. There we go. Thank you very much. Thank you for playing. The big one naturally will dominate this weekend. Enjoy it. We'll be breaking it down hopefully right afterwards. Rafe, thank you for giving me and the people this much of your Tuesday afternoon.
I mean, there's no better way to spend a Tuesday afternoon than getting inside the box.
Thank you. Programming alert for BCX listeners. No live ramble tomorrow. Got to take Reggie J to the doctors. A lot of other personal stuff going on. But Thursday, I'll be back 11 a.m. Eastern is right now the targeted Thursday ramble. Get that done early enough. Luke can have his normal time on the old YouTubes there. I've enjoyed this. I think we've got a couple quick ones to go here. Quickly from Alan W. We gonna Peter North the S out of this? Yeah, probably, right? Hopefully, right? I mean, if it goes great, then yes. Thank you.
Sure. Enjoy the fights. As much load watch jokes as we make, I don't want to see too many loads in real life.
Keep that joke as just a joke, please. Thank you, that guy, for supporting us. Take your shoes off before you do. Yeah, that'd be respectful. Also, Alan W supporting the chat, saying BBLs for life, Papa. Word to your mother. Thank you very much. And final question from Lazy Bed as we put this to rest. You and I both children of the 80s and early 90s. Rafe, I want you to answer this musically and provocatively. Which one you take?
Debbie Gibson and Debbie Gibson.
Oh, wow. Really?
I don't remember Tiffany well enough.
Okay. Bivol, is Junto Nakatani? He's not fighting this weekend, is it?
I don't know. You're the one looking at his schedule.
I didn't see it on the Dan Rayfield schedule. Did you make that up?
Rayfield is slipping. Dan the man. What's going on?
I don't know. Dave Sandine back in. Yeah. Double down.
Here, explain to me why that is incorrect.
Yeah, her music is definitely better.
Tiffany look better.
It's a toss up. Like they're both kind of they're both mid carders. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like
I know. Yeah. I mean, I noticed that question did not include Paula Abdul, and I'm glad it's not because she, that's another level.
Yeah. Do you think her and MC Scat Cat got it on in that collaboration?
Opposites do attract, I mean, MC Reggie Jackson.
All right, that'll wrap up this show. Thank you so much for playing out there. Hopefully a reminder, see you Thursday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern here on the BCX for a live ramble at Rafe Boogs on the socials for that gentleman. He might want to work in boxing again. It's up to him. I'd like for you to write a boxing book, but you're not.
How you find me someone who will pay for a boxing book?
Hamilton Car Productions.
Yeah, Hamilton Nolan. I don't know. Maybe someday. I don't think they actually do pay that much.
All right. Well, hopefully you're doing well, Rafe. We have big love for your ginger ass. All right. Have a great. Thank you very much. At least somebody got the score right. Guess what? We're out of this piece. All right. Peace. We out of here.